support to get on her finger.
Yeah.
And then that way you won't have to worry about her falling on the ground or getting
They need to switch
get
out
that harness on.
offline
But then also
videos
we'll
or
be able to let her
whatever.
fly around and, you know, with that like harness.
Oh, I think you guys do a pretty good job of that.
She could fly until the trip started, and then but we knew that once we took her out on this trip, we didn't want any possibility we'd be at a park or be out somewhere and she started to fly. And I don't think we ever lose her into the trees or to like fly away. I'd be afraid of her flying out into the traffic or under people's feet. You know, even just if there's like people around and you're in like a crowded kind of place and she flutters the ground and someone just happens to step back at the wrong time or not see her.
You usually have to log in.
I also have like we don't ever let kids step up on kids' hands either because she's never bitten anybody, but I have a fear that if she bites a kid, and it's not even so much about the liability, I think I'd survive that part of it, but I'd be afraid that a little kid wouldn't have the self-control that if that bird bit down that he might just like, I say he because I always think of a very high trumpet player there.
He's a trumpet player, so he's
weird. I hear trumpet playing. Sounds like it could be Dizzy Gillespie.
Man. Jeff.
Who got you made?
He might be the sax player.
What else you want to do?
I've never heard of trumpet players. Jazz band, Eves. You like talking? What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, I'm still
okay, you might have to go to Ustream.
You look like you got something on your mind. Oh, it sounds like it'd be Jim Manley in that trumpet now. Solo.
What's your
You go
name?
to Ustream.tv and then...
He's a trumpet player out of St. Louis. We go
remember Julia as well. Yeah, go there and all that.
That was like the best decision I ever made, though, was dropping out of music and going into computers. Because when I first went to the university and first went to college, I was in music.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
that was your major?
Yeah, it was my major. I did it for a couple of years, and man, they like you get credit for the first time you take orchestra and jazz band and combo class. But then the next year comes around, the university's not going to give you credit for playing in jazz band every semester, but the music school wants you there because that's what you're doing, and so every semester it's like as you work your way through the music school, you end up where 80% of the classes you're going to, you're not even getting credit for them. You're just there to play and fill their band and stuff, And like, I knew people that were like 30 years old, and they'd been going in the music program for like 10 years until I graduated.
I was in the art program. We spent a lot of time, you go to a 4-hour class, you only get like a half a credit hour.
Yeah. For whatever reason, it's like there's a lack of respect for the creative sides of education or whatever. If you go to a math class, you go 3 hours, you get 3 credit hours. Simple as that. It's just straight up. But you go to, take an art class, you get a half credit hour for going for 3 hours. It's like, wait a second.
I wasn't real good at math, but I could tell that don't equal much. The time spent. And then, of course, that music diploma is good for.
Yeah, about like gliding her cake. Unless, I think the only thing it's good for is you're going to teach. If you want to go back and teach college or even high school music.
You better be real good. The guys around you better be real good with doing them gigs because, you better like staying up all night.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a different lifestyle. And I would say if you're going to be a studio musician, then it helps to have that degree. But it doesn't help you have a degree from Southern Illinois University, that's for sure. You'd be better off just not even mention it. Yeah, if you have like Juilliard School of Music or there's like a...
Just tell them I was 15 in my bedroom, got my first guitar.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it ended up here.
That's what I realized is that if you can play great, people don't care if you have a degree or not. And it's that way in a lot of industries. A lot of industries are starting to get that way now. It's less about having a piece of paper. It's more about experience.
Yeah, that's a pretty thin market anyway, isn't it? I mean, to make money.
Oh, I can't even imagine. Well, the trumpet player I mentioned earlier, he's like considered probably one of the top 10 best in the country. I mean, he's like one of the best trumpet players. And he told me just a couple of months ago, he's making less money now than he did like 20 years ago.
Really?
Just because, the clubs are pulling in DJ shows. They're pulling in karaoke. And he might be. There's not as many clubs, and the ones that are there, they're super. You know, they don't want to pay. You know,
that's what she put both
he had his. We used to have like full band, like a big band, like 4 trumpet players, 4 sax players, 4 trombone, or at least 1 or 2 trombone players, and they could go out and make money doing that, and they'd get $1,200 for a gig like that, and they could all split it up, and they were getting rich, but they could do it. Now it's like him and a keyboard player, 2 guys, and they're struggling to get somebody to pay them $300 a night or something. I mean,
they won't give you $200 beer you can drink.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the Blues Brothers thing from there, where they go and they go to play and they end up owing money at the end of the night.
Yeah,
so they drink
your way out.
Yeah, and that's almost ironic because that was so long ago, and they were making fun of the fact that there they were, a band on the road, great blues players, and they're playing for beer money.
I don't know how that
they said then they owe money
I
for the beer
paused
night
it
because they
and I
drank
couldn't
so
get rid of
much.
that, but she was so cute. She was getting ready to stop up. She kept saying, I want to stop up. And you're like, you are stopping.
With the last minute, Eric came and brought out that white towel, and it's been so handy just throwing it in my lap.
Anyways, John Mellencamp was like 15 years old. And he was playing bars.
People were asking if
Blooming,
their
because
BB
he lived,
band.
like 8 miles from Blooming.
Amazing.
He lived 4 miles from us. We lived out in the country. We didn't live on campus. 8 of us stayed in one big farm. We had a 3-legged cow.
Born that way?
Yeah,
wow.
Born that way, so it never knew the difference. And the mother cow got taken away, so the cow thought it was a dog. It would sit on the porch with that one hoof, hanging over it, and it'd go out and chase cars like all the dogs did out in the yard. Whenever somebody pulled in, all the dogs would go out and beat the car.
That's what they had to do.
People would be sitting out there, here come this big old cow, come running right at him, and when he licked on the girls, he tore hide off.
Their tongues are so sharp.
Oh, that cow was so much fun. We had parties, keg parties and stuff like that. Everybody liked going out in the country. Here come that little 3-legged cow running around the corner of the house. We had him for 3 years. Like I say, she thought she was a dog because she never knew any.
Was it still a calf?
Huh?
Was it still a calf?
It was a calf when we got it.
But then it got big.
The farmer was going to put it down.
Yeah.
He said, "Oh, she was struggling too much."
Just born with
don't do that. We'll take care of her. Oh, okay, I'm okay.
The only thing it had to learn from were dogs, and so it became a dog.
There was 5 dogs. Hell, I'm a dog.
Yeah.
I just kept getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And like I say,
they're going to mimic what's around them,
Yeah.
That's how
she'd
they
go
learn.
running out to the cars when they pull the driveway, and people wouldn't get out. Bad enough you got 5 dogs jumping and barking and going crazy. What's that?
A big cow.
Did she vocalize at all?
Pardon me?
Did she vocalize at all? Did she move and say?
Oh yeah, that was her bark.
Well, okay, when everyone else was barking.
She thought that.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Big old tongue would come hanging out when she wanted to lick somebody like a dog does.
Oh yeah.
Get that big old tongue sliding out. One good lick and you were going, jeez. Need another bath. But she'd come when we whistled for the dog. She'd come running around the corner of the house, and she'd sit on that back porch, have that one hoof just hanging over the edge with the rest of them. They'd all be lined up. I wish I had some of the pictures.
What it is they see that dog getting fed food. It's all about the food. They say, "Oh, the dogs are getting food. I'm gonna go over there." And then
You could feed her dog food. Well, you
yeah.
fed her dog food like that because they got teeth too.
Yeah.
They'd snap finger right in half.
Yeah.
Ow.
Yeah, I've always heard when you feed a cow, you
just
do
like you
real
do a
flat
horse.
hand.
You don't try and stick a piece in the horse's mouth because you're going to get
They
whatever.
won't. It's not. Yeah, they don't mean to do it, but
No.
they'll just do it. It's like with her. Well, she doesn't
I
mean
don't know
to do
if
it.
you did like that.
And she only bites out of aggression, really, not out of fear. So like, that's why I think when people, she's never bitten anybody but the one she loves. She hasn't bitten anyone else. She hasn't bitten people, any other people, because she doesn't really bite out of fear. I think it's when she's feels playful or not getting her way or something. So when it's somebody she doesn't know, she's like cautious. She knows that I think if in that instance, if she bites somebody, it can turn out bad for her, so she doesn't bite. But she's not afraid to bite Kelly, right?
Oh. You're a good girl, aren't you?
You're a real good girl, but like They're so much different than trying to train dogs, because with dogs, you can just look at them and go, and they're like, they feel remorse. They actually feel guilty if they don't please you.
I don't know what I did, but I'm sorry.
She doesn't feel sorry, really. They're kind of little sociopaths.
It's so funny when you guys feed her something or you're eating something that she can't have, or you're out of it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Are you sorry, Beads?
So
you're so good.
Yeah, your cow story just went live over the entire internet.
Oh, there's a camera.
Yeah, that's working great. Yeah, I think we guessed right that the laptops is more for close up.
Yeah.
We can learn.
So it probably actually some with the light balance is optimized right in front, and then
I really couldn't find any settings for the webcam.
Hi, baby.
For the built-in camera.
You're being so pretty.
They almost just throw those cameras in there, the cheapest they can get for laptops, so that people can just do a webcam chat or something.
I've had one of my last 3 computers. I don't let her.
Yeah, I actually don't use ours.
You're relaxed, aren't you?
I don't think I've ever used it.
How do you?
I don't want people to see.
Are you always conscious that the camera's on?
Baby girl.
Probably at some level, a little bit.
In the back of your head, kind of like,
Probably a little bit. I think every once in a while I'll forget. But now it's been for so long, I think I just kind of know. And, we don't, if we really have something private, or I have to do something real, like, sensitive data-wise, then we'll just have to mute it or something, or go in another room to do it. But I a lot of times don't acknowledge the cameras on, just because I kind of want to keep the reality part of it kind of intact a little bit. Like if I was always talking and chatting and being interactive with all the people watching BB, then it's not like they're seeing just BB with us and how we're interacting. So it's not me being unfriendly, really, because I really appreciate everybody watching. It's just kind of a way of just going about our lives, and that people can kind of peek in. Because it's really fun. We really like it that people get enjoyment out of it. It's great that we can share that way, that the technology just happens to be there now where you can show it. Yeah.
I think it makes us a little bit better people that we don't gossip as much. Seriously, I mean, we
don't use it near as much as profanity.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure there's all that bad about that, but I mean, talking about people behind their back is not a nice trait, and I don't want to have that trait, so it's kind of reinforced that it's better to talk about ideas and events and your own, self than to.
I gotta talk about somebody else.
Yeah, exactly. And then also the other just touchy subjects of, like they say, you never talk about politics or religion. So you just try to stay away from that subject. I know we haven't always, but BB's was a bipartisan vote. She doesn't care. She says Obama, but she doesn't know what that means. She doesn't care, and whatever the situation is, she's Ray taught her to say Barack Obama, so he was a supporter of his. But we went along with that, just with BB saying whatever. If somebody wants to teach BB to say something and they're not, as long as it's not like exceptional profanity or something real hateful or something, just kind of say, okay, all right. But she's a smarty pants, and she likes it when people come over. She likes visiting, I think. She's a sweetie pie. And I'm just, there was a little apprehension, I think, Kelly and I both felt it in the days leading up, especially the first road trip. It's like, is she ready? Well, she might be, but are we ready? Because it is a big undertaking. So glad that we're not doing the RV this time. The all intentions were great there. Is what we really wanted with the RV was to create a consistent place for her to go back to. So every night, no matter what craziness there was during the day, whatever chaos there was, she'd always go back to the same place at night, and that would give her kind of some grounded security. But what we kind of learned was she did really fine staying in people's houses. She did really fine staying in hotel rooms. And the RV, the issue is if there's a wind Yeah, wind, it shakes it and starts to rock it.
It's an old, we didn't have good stabilizers on that.
And then if you walk, if you get up, like it say, because she went to bed, especially then, she was going to bed at like 8 and 9 at night. If you get up and start to walk around at all, or even just shift, like if I just went like this on the couch, like I just did there, you could feel the shake, and so we were always having like tiptoe around, and it's a little breezy.
The temperature too is more consistent if you're in a motel room. You don't have to worry if the temperature shift down a little bit.
Oh yeah, I think guzzled the gas.
We were and going through the mountains here, that would have been.
Trying to get up down there.
I've seen so many pulling a good like a SUV behind their RV, and I'm like, you're crazy.
Exactly.
I used to see like a big motorhome with an SUV on the back, and then like a motorcycle and a carriage or something.
Somebody's got too many toys.
Too many toys.
And some of those rides
like a school bus.
If I'm going somewhere, I don't want to tote that much crap with me.
Right, and that's part of it too. And it rides almost exactly like a school bus. Like so, if you're in a school bus, that's how it felt to ride in it. And so we didn't want to ride in it because then we knew it wouldn't be a solitary, comfortable place
for
that
back
at night.
Something stuff to that too.
Yeah, it's just really stiff. I'm sure the newer motorhomes are probably, ride better because this was a '96. Yeah, but overall, I mean, I think it was good for the first road trip, and that there's some element of kind of need to have a motorhome and stay in it and stuff. But now we're looking at Chris.
That's over where they go.
Yeah, Chris is he works on motorhomes, and that's what they do. They're big, so he's going to hopefully get it sold for us, and then we'll use the funds from that to do the Orlando and Disney World deal. And hopefully have a little.
How does she fly? You going to fly to Disney, you say?
That's what we're hoping. Yeah, we haven't flown her yet, so that's why that's the third one. Would be to fly down. So we got to work something like that. It's still tentative, we don't. But that seems like a logical kind of way to wrap it up. She's got fans down there.
Oh yeah. You don't know how
kind of
excited she was when they're coming this way. They're coming this way.
We're trying to we'd love to be able to see everybody, and I don't know how we'll get to the West Coast yet, but we'll see how she does with something a little shorter than that. You're used to the car riding now. She's fine with that. We met, you've probably seen those Bird Tricks guys, right? The birdtricks.com people. Have you heard of them?
Andrew.
Bird Tricks, the Bird Tricks people.
Yes, and I've heard you guys talk about them. Some of those aren't good tricks.
Well, there's some things.
But it is a pretty, is this a good site?
Oh, they're very knowledgeable about birds. I can't really second guess them all that much because they've worked with like hundreds of birds.
That's what I thought.
Very, very knowledgeable about birds. I think there's been a few instances like with the clicker training when they got really big into that. And it's like it's an opinion of theirs of like, but I can't think of her name, but the woman in the Bird Tricks, she was particularly just angry. She's like, I get so angry that people won't use clickers to train their birds. It just frustrates me that people will try to train a bird without a clicker. And I'm thinking to myself, why would I want to have click, 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 and then...
Not a porpoise.
I don't need the tricks that bad. In other words, what I get frustrated about is people that want to just train their birds to do tricks, and I think that, and just as a whole, it's like bird tricks, that's what they do. We don't really want BB to be a trick bird. It's more like, just let her be BB, and it's like, there's been already enough trick animals out there. I go back to like the Lassie. Look how famous Lassie was. And then he could do all kinds of tricks, and you had great producers of that show that knew how to use his tricks and the skills of the dogs and make him into a character. People loved Lassie. They loved that dog. And then you had Flipper and Mr. Ed. I heard they put peanut butter in his mouth to make him move, and then they talk over the top. But thanks. But what hasn't I haven't really seen is like on the reality shows. We have reality shows about everything, but in the Dog Whisperer. But that's about the person. But we don't. But has there ever been really an animal that's been a reality? The star of her own reality show or something like it, or I believe it. That's why I don't really want to teach her to do tricks. It's not really about tricks.
Right, it's not, yeah. Yeah, I think people see a bird and think if it talks that it's a parrot type. Do a trick, but she's not.
But then we relented and we kind of now have her doing a few tricks just because we take her out somewhere. People want to see her talk, and so she can say her name, and she can say her favorite colors, and the duck, and those kinds of things.
Yeah.
And to get to know her, then it's fun just to look at her and see how she behaves.
Yeah.
And she might just sit here all afternoon just like that.
I've done it.
Yeah.
I sit here many afternoons and never say a word.
That's how it is. And people don't talk all the time, so why should a bird?
Right.
And this is kind of her less talkative time of day, too.
Sometimes it's so cute, too. She'll just sit up on that top perch and just, that neck will stretch up. She'll look and sit around.
I love it when one of us leaves, so every, 90% of the time she'll run up to the top so she can look out and watch.
Can she see out a window?
Yeah, she can see out the window.
That's when Kelly back comes.
Yeah, Kelly back.
She can see.
She does that almost all the time now, that she'll hear, before I can even hear Kelly coming back, I'll hear Kelly
is
back, and then
turn the driveway on.
We have sliding glass doors in the back of the house, so she can see the driveway. She can even see a corner.
So where are the ears at?
Kelly and him probably show them to you. They're kind of interesting.
They have ears?
Kind of. They have holes in their heads.
Yeah, it is. It's like
they
a little hole.
outside ears, outer ears. Weird. Can you let me touch you? Oh, can I touch your head and start that way? I know. They're kind of like right below and behind your eye. They're right below. You see where the white part
Are they
ends?
in the gray, where it looks like
Right
a little circle
in the
right there?
Yeah, the where the feathers don't look quite as formed.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of a circle.
It looks like a little hole, like you could stick a Q-tip in there.
Just about
Not
that
even,
size.
but even
Not
smaller.
that-
Maybe a little smaller.
Ears?
Almost needle size and very
Can I
tiny.
pet your head? Maybe then you'll be relaxed enough that I can show your ears. Oh,
You can see them. Like after she takes a shower, sometimes they pop out a little more. You can see them. They're all. It's amazing to hear as well as they are without having like collector. Kind of like we do, you know.
Is the growl.
We have this because it helps us.
Grays are the only ones that
Now
do
they
that.
don't have anything like that. They just have little holes.
Well, I need to do your medicine too, don't I?
Might be just time to do that, huh?
Speaking of growling, yeah, you're already growling at me. Why don't I just do your meds right there, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
They actually like getting them rubbed when they're good.
If you did let me do it, you'd like it. Yeah. Do you know it's medicine time? Yeah.
Oh, aren't we getting feisty?
Is that getting mad, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like.
You didn't want me to disturb you. You were all nice and relaxed there. Grab her medicine. She does need it.
Is this the kind she likes with yogurt?
What's
This medicine, the kind she likes?
Yeah, but on this trip I've been kind of forcing it on her just because if she does spit it out, you know, I only have so much to get with us.
Here goes Ray.
Good talker. There's poop.
Because she didn't eat a lot of yogurt earlier.
Just like a little kid, she makes it harder than it needs to be.
Yeah.
Mark and the girls in the chat said they're passing around the Kleenex
Aww.
like emoji.
Oh, yeah.
Are you getting mad at me?
I thought they were all swooning because of me or something.
Oh.
So she is taking it.
That's the one that doesn't taste
No, it is. It's the one that tastes good, but she's just making absolutely sure on the road trip that she gets it
You know
because.
she likes it, sometimes she'll shake her beak and it'll all come.
Yeah, the whole seizure thing is still, it's very rare still that she has them. But we went a long time where she had none, and then just the beginning of this year she started having them again. And they're always at night. They're always while she's asleep in the middle of the night, usually after 3 a.m., like between 3 and 6 a.m. that's when she has them. Sometimes she'll have them at midnight, though, you just don't know. But it's always while she's asleep. She's never had one while awake, and I guess that's common in people, too. There's a lot of people that have that one, too. She'll start shaking her head like this, like that, and then she'll, like she's trying to get something out of her head, and then she'll walk across the perch and do it more. And then most of the time, if it's gone that far, then she goes into a full seizure where she goes and, like, falls off the perch.
Somebody suggested that might be some type of dissociative seizure.
Usually,
we're not
lasts maybe the actual seizure maybe a minute, and it's about another 5 minutes before she kind of comes out. Yeah, she's like goes into this kind of catatonic, like she just sits there. But that's what we're talking about.
And their full grand mal where she
might be happy that's over.
And everything. Those ones where she's still almost at the opposite of grand mal seizure, where she's not twitching. She's got absolutely no muscle movement at all. So.
That's a dog.
I think it's
Chip.
Oh, that was her fish.
That was her fish.
Oh.
She had a beta fish.
But she also said
Yeah. Good water.
We originally had French fries as Chip because it was before she was a big talker, like, and she could say just back to anything. So we thought it'd be easier to call the French fries chips, like they do in, I guess, England. Yeah. So. But she could. I'm sure she could learn French fry now. Actually, F's are kind of the harder one of the things to say. I think like
freak?
Freak. That's right.
Good water. Good enough?
So we try to make sure she's hydrated because we've read that definitely can decrease the threshold of seizures if you're dehydrated. It makes it more likely. But she hasn't had any on this trip. We usually it's just like once a month or twice a month. So we kind of expect that probably somewhere along this trip she might have one.
Is that unusual for birds?
Not unusual at all, especially African greys. They're very prone.
What is unusual is that she only gets them when she sleeps.
Yeah.
Every vet we've seen says, "Oh, I've never heard of that." Usually, when they go to the vet, stress will cause them to have a seizure. But sleep is like the complete opposite. Like no stress. When you're asleep, you're not going to be any more relaxed than that.
Yeah, we haven't been able to find anything that's a catalyst for it.
How many times did you say she has them a month?
Just once, but sometimes she has a double, like she'll have 2 in one night.
You can hear her.
Which she sleeps in the same room.
Can the seizure kill them, or is it the fall?
Well, it'd probably be most likely something hitting her head on something. Or
a seizure could if she has a real prolonged one and she overheats. It's the heat that would cause it. That's what the vet told us.
At her age, it's actually she has actually a very minor seizure disorder because they only last for like a minute, and then she's back within 5. A lot of people have to deal with once a bird goes into seizure, they have to go to the vet and get Valium injected into their breastbone or breast muscles.
Oh, good.
To stop the seizures because they'll just keep having them until they get the Valium, and then there's usually some kind of other underlying issue. So she has I can't remember what the kind of epilepsy it's called, but it's the same as in people where they just don't know why, and there's no real pathological reason. They can't figure it out. Now, the only thing we could take it one step up further would be to have her get an MRI, and then they probably would, with an MRI, be able to actually tell like what part of the brain.
You'd have to knock a bird out, do you?
Yeah.
And so that has its own risks, and
that's scary. She got knocked out one time, and the vet was he gave her something to revive her. And she didn't revive right away, and Eric and I were there for that, and he said, I'm going to take her in the back here and give her another dose, and we were just like, pure panic. Yeah, we don't know what he's doing in the back when he brought her back in.
Get the paddles.
Yeah, it was spooky.
And I've read there's a really excellent avian vet down in Florida, and she says you should never, ever put a bird under anesthesia unless it's like a last resort. You should consider it a life-saving technique. So you don't put a bird bird under ever, even for diagnostics.
He did it for an X-ray to make sure she didn't have toxic, metals or something.
So that would be an example where at least that avian vet down in Florida strongly disagrees with that practice. That you just either don't do the X-ray or she says she has somewhere she pins her wings down or something. They put the bird into something, pin their wings down, and then they can do what they need to do, but without anesthesia. Because the anesthesia is just risky with birds. It's still.
Anybody.
Yeah, it is with anybody. That's true. Anybody, anesthesia can be risky, but with birds, it's like very, very. Like even the simplest operation, if they have to knock them out, you have a scary high mortality rate.
I had this thing put in. What do they call this thing?
Port.
A port. So they don't have to eat.
Yeah, you jab me all the time.
Yeah, so everything goes right through this thing. And, they put a little local on top of
Yep.
it, and if you don't feel, nothing.
Yeah.
They knocked me out for that. I remember them wheeling me in.
It wasn't the complete knockout, but it was Versed and something else that
That kind of
makes
stuff
you not
affects me.
remember.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit to me is.
A lot.
Yeah,
Oh,
way.
And that's the thing too. Is every animal behaves different. She seems very sensitive to small amounts. We had a cat that he almost didn't come out of anesthesia a couple of times, and so the vet knew then that cat took like half about what a normal cat would. Because he would be like for days.
So they should know that with you too. Don't give me as much as you.
Yeah, you don't have to give me a full load. I'll take some home or something. They have to use elephant tranquilizer to put her.
Really?
She bites that stuff.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, yeah.
I think I am too. When I had my tonsils out as a kid, but
I
they had to
when
double dose
I had a couple
me.
surgeries, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to sleep. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Tongue flops out.
Yeah, I remember when I had my wisdom teeth pulled, they knocked me all the way out, and they said start counting back from 100. I never remember getting to 90.
Yeah. What?
No. And then waking up thinking it was still, I didn't know it was over. I just woke up and I thought it was still going on. And they're like, are you ready to get up and go?
Yeah.
Don't you have to give me some more of that?
Yeah.
And then I realized my whole mouth was like packed with cotton. And okay, I guess it's over.
Right.
But I'm really glad that I had that done.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ever fear anesthesia because at least then I don't know what happened. It's like, give it to me, I'm just going to go all the way out.
I was awake from my wisdom teeth getting out, and I felt like my jaw was going to break. And just.
I really did.
Oh, really?
When I was living in Florida, she got me to go to a doctor, which I had to be 60 to go to a doctor. Come to find out, I had chronic cluster headaches, and it was always right in one spot on one side. It came from here and it went to here. My eyes would water. They'd have to go close up.
That sounds miserable.
In the dark, lights would
like
be
a
bright
bad
dark.
migraine.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I didn't know what it was. I thought it was my teeth. And it hurt so bad that instead of getting an appointment and going to the dentist after a couple of them jerked out, guess who's standing in the bathroom with a pair of channel. I would have tears just running out of my eyes from these headaches. I didn't know what they were.
So you yanked your
I got 3 of them out before she sent me to a doctor, and he goes, oh, yeah, you got chronic cluster headaches. Here, take one of these $25 pills.
A pill for $25 a piece.
Yeah.
Zomig and Maxol, but it melts under his tongue in 5 minutes or
Not even
less.
5 minutes, 2 minutes.
Wow,
I mean, this is one of the kinds of headaches you get where you think your head's going to kick in on itself, or you just wasted wood, so you wouldn't have to go through that pain.
It's amazing how it
Yeah, I just slip one of them little things under my tongue. I got 2 different kinds. Slip that baby under my tongue, just give me 1-2 minutes. It's like it never happened.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. There are some things that science has done.
Oh
yeah.
But there's other things I don't agree with.
No doubt about that too.
Did you see her this morning stand on the bowl and it fell off?
Oh yeah.
I heard it.
Yeah, because it's not really rigged. This is for
grow
her travel
hard.
cage.
They
I
grow
just could have
hard.
rigged it because we forgot to bring it in, or
And it
it's
can be
somewhere in the car. I can't find it. So
all they need is the cell. They don't have to tell that cell what they're going to be. That's all
Right,
they have to
exactly.
do.
That's why it's so powerful and it's so important. And
I have a feeling that's how she got
who
it.
knows where that might lead us one day.
You know, everybody, a lot of
I
people
wonder what
think,
she's
you know,
like.
this can't be good. You know, you're going to grow clones of yourself. Well, Yeah, there might be some evil scientist out there that wants to do that stuff, but why not be able to have yourself a little reserve, you know, like I need a kidney?
Yeah, they can take
Give me
6
3
months,
months, yeah.
and then you got one, grow
And it's
one.
mine.
And it's yours, you can reject it.
It's on the shelf.
And if that one, for whatever reason, it's not, they can go down.
Exactly.
I mean, I think looking way in the future, that's inevitable anyway, and I think that's the other side of it, is if we're not doing it,
cherry juice.
Russia and China's going to be doing it, and they're, you know, they're going to have all other countries doing it. There's a moral, ethical thing, and I think people, that's one of the things people have lost some trust that we might have leaders that won't be ethical and moral in how
Yeah,
they
they're
use
just gonna
it, you know?
they're just gonna produce the superhuman, you know, for war. You know,
It's
the
scary.
government complex, you know.
Yes.
But
I
I don't see nothing wrong with growing, you know.
Yeah, I don't think it's a little cell. It's how it's used. It's like you could say the same thing for guns. You know, in the hands of the wrong person, bad news. But in the hands of a patriot or someone who's looking out to help people, it's a tool to save lives. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. Like I say,
And I believe in theoretical research anyway, like in trying to get as much information we can, even when it comes to military stuff like that. I think that's where you put your money, is in that advanced technical research. You don't even need to build the war machines, you just need to know how and be ahead and stay ahead and keep that well ahead.
they're doing studies.
Right, so if you take that and then
Everybody would be, you know, one shot. You never have to worry about cancer. Now that's going to put a lot of people out of research, a lot of doctors, especially.
Well,
You might not be getting
I'd love to see people be unemployed because there's no,
So she might be having
They did it with chickenpox.
Yeah, exactly.
They
It's
did
like
it with typhoid.
yeah,
They're
they're almost every
Yeah.
you know, now, you
wake
know.
up hungry and you don't get your breakfast or
Oh, I didn't know that.
coffee or whatever you want.
Yeah,
Andrew?
we're the same way.
Ben?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did that. He don't have diabetes.
Right.
The immune thing. And
Maybe
he's been on that for quite a few years now. Oh, he's 185 pounds. You know, they give him special medicine. Yeah. He takes those and they send him to him right to the house. You know, nobody know, you know, unless he does. Unless he told him. A lot of times he starts out conversations, meets new people that are like, I'm never going to do it.
Yeah, we don't use it too.
Yeah, you think of their teeth. It would be a
Right,
good
right,
idea
right.
to even try it.
Like I said, the advances they have now, like my kids, they couldn't just
And that's
do
good for them to have
radiation.
things like that.
That
too.
you see.
Yeah, because otherwise their heat can get
Right.
overgrown.
But now, last year and
It's like
a few
fingernails,
years,
you
they
know,
found
you
out they
didn't
give you
have
that cocktail both at the same time.
Exactly. It's like it exponentially helps. It's like the two together are like much better than
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, and that's what's got me so positive, you know.
Yeah.
I have to know, on the plus side here, you know, that's,
Mhm.
try to keep that other side.
Right.
You know, losing my hair, well, you know, that ain't gonna bother me a whole lot, you know. Funny how that stuff seems to grow back even where you don't want it to. So I'm not too much worried about that. You know. Sick, I've been sick before, you know, I know how to throw up the best of them. 10, 12 beers, I'm ready to go. Jägermeister, whatever it might be. You know.
That's the right attitude.
And so I can handle throwing up, you know, I can handle losing hair. And God knows we've all been constipated the other way once or twice in our lives.
Mark's in a clinical trial too.
Yeah.
That's great.
He's doing a clinical trial for honey. It's made in New Zealand, and it's the bees feed specifically on this honey that they or on the food that's like got herbs and stuff in it, and then their honey produces.
Like antioxidants.
Yeah, and enzymes and such.
So when he
And it
goes
tastes
through
like honey.
the radiation,
honey.
he's gonna have the honey. He's gonna go down and soothe and coat the esophagus and his mouth. So there was 3 parts to the clinical trial. The first part, someone would get nothing. The second was someone would get the honey, and the third was the lozenges. And he got the honey. It's a placebo. You take that chance.
Right,
he got the honey, so the hospital was super excited.
Yeah, they were all
excellent.
So I have a little log that I have to, keep and track and helped or didn't help.
Well, it's good too because you're helping others too.
It's really positive.
That's a good thing.
Her last husband, had leukemia, and she got him all the way through that. He's been in remission with leukemia for how many years now?
7,
8 years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the things that they've
And
done.
back then, he was terminal.
Yeah.
When he was diagnosed, his life expectancy was only 4 to 5 more years. And so he went into a trial at MD Anderson in Houston, Texas, and they gave him free meds that was $2,000 a month.
Wow.
And and it ended up being one that's saving lives now for people with blood diseases. So clinical trials are really good.
Mm-hmm.
If you're getting
that's the only way we can learn.
The
placebo, if you didn't get it, it's tough, but
it didn't work.
You were. You weren't.
Well, I can understand why they have to have.
Well,
that.
yeah.
You have to have a control.
I'm just glad I got everything. They're telling me I'm going to get cured. They're not using remission. Well, we got to watch it. 5 years of lung cancer, a cure.
Mm-hmm. That's great. It
really
is.
I would have never expected it. Oh, there's my honey drugs.
Oh, so they've already sent it to you?
Yeah, they gave it to us at the hospital. It's real good stuff.
Comes out like molasses.
Molasses.
It tastes like
molasses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Yeah, but these bees they're only from New Zealand. They're trying to replicate it in Israel.
Right.
This is New Zealand, they're
It goes to rain.
secrets,
Oh, weird.
What we're feeding them,
It goes to rain.
how it is.
Good doctors.
Have somebody getting up and moving around next to the
Yeah.
start talking a little bit.
See what you're going to be tasting.
I've already tasted it.
This is a big swap. Taste it. That's like molasses.
Just like
You don't mind it?
Just like honey.
It does?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like you put on your biscuit. I like putting honey on biscuits. So that's just what it tastes like.
Well, I'm actually glad you didn't get in the trial that you got to eat.
Yeah.
It
tastes like dog.
It tastes like dog food.
Or the dog's own.
You said chicken, I put on the chicken. It tastes like, you always say it tastes like chicken.
Y'all eat chicken and noodles, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah?
What was that?
Chicken and noodles.
I'm fine with whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever's easy.
We'll fill you up on chicken noodles. That's good stuff.
Do you want noodles, Stevie?
I eat small portions, so you know.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. Recently, more.
You want some noodles?
BB loves noodles.
Well, you can tell by looking at myself and Andrea, she can't make a little of anything.
No.
It just doesn't work that way.
There were 6 in our family, and I just can't get it. I
You're
can't get it down to 2.
I can't find Callie anywhere.
Well, she's in there. She's definitely in there. She was taking a nap.
Here's Chip.
What are you talking about, Chip? What else do you like to talk about? What are you doing? So what are you up to today, BB Birds? Are you doing anything?
I don't know.
Are you gonna sing a song? What's your favorite song?
It goes to rain.
The guy.
Oh, okay.
You sing Lollipop? You sing Lollipop for me?
I think.
Here's Rock Me.
Oh, rock band.
Right, baby sweet.
It goes to rain.
Did you like the activity? Did you get a little nap?
It goes to rain.
You see Ray Clayton?
Now we're talking it up.
You go see Mark?
Here's the chair.
You go see Cherry, yeah. a cherry.
Oh.
Good cherry.
Ooh.
Do you want to eat another cherry?
Here goes the race.
Ray.
Oh, Gracie's sweet.
Did you say Gracie?
Here goes the Ray.
Oh, yes, you say Ray. You see Andrea?
Here's cherry.
Yeah, Andrea had cherries for you, didn't she? You want one more?
You all get to watch much TV, do you?
We probably watch more than we should. Probably like a lot of
cherry?
people.
Do you want a cherry? You want a cherry? One more?
That's so much junk on now, though. It's hard to sometimes find something that's like that's really good, you know.
I find myself watching National Geographic.
Yeah, it's always good.
History channels.
A lot of those channels didn't stick with their name at all. You'll turn on history and they're showing something that's like, this is not history.
Yeah, it don't have much to do with history. Early in the mornings, if you turn it on, it's a paid ad.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah.
They've already started the NBA action, and they're going to do NBA playoffs playback, and then finally, like 3 hours later, there'll finally be a game. How much can they talk about it?
I know it. It's like the Super Bowl. The game don't start till 8:30, but we're starting today's round at noon.
Now you got a lot of
Don't
channels.
forget about t-shirts for you guys too. We got t-shirts like this, you know, blue or purple or red.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, we brought them with us. So.
Yeah, they're out in the car.
Yeah, those aren't good for birds. So.
Is that the one with the black?
Now you got a lot of
It's just
choices.
Whatever's.
You use that. I got one, honey.
Something to watch, please.
No.
Here goes the Ray.
Hey, did you drop your cherry? Yeah. What you got there? Huh? What you got? Are you gonna drop that? You drop that so you can get your cherry? Yeah, there's cherry. There's cherry. Gotta get rid of the pit first. You want the cherry? You drop it? You drop that. You gotta drop it. Nope, you gotta drop it. Drop it, you can't have both. You drop it. Mm-hmm.
Here goes the Ray.
Good girl. Cherry. Are you done with it?
Here goes the Ray.
We did see Ray's, didn't you? Let's go see Mark and Andrea. See Mark and
Chips.
Andrea?
This is, I think you're doing some cooking.
That's probably too. This one too.
Yeah.
Probably too much. Teflon.
It does look like Teflon.
Yeah.
Here goes the Ray.
The Teflon's usually a gray.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
Here goes the Ray.
How you doing? Now we're talking it up. The birds talk.
Here. What you got? You want to step up? You getting excited? No? Oh, you're a messy bird. Here. You want to step up?
Well, kind of interesting. No.
Next one.
Video block? Yeah, they're like they do like stock video footage with like different things. Oh, I signed up for them a long time ago, but they charge so much that I never actually bought any of their stuff.
You want to fly?
You can only down 20 a day.
That's all. Like full video movies?
Mm-hmm. But they have 100,000 of them, so if you can only download 20, it's
For 7 days.
For 7 days, I guess, yeah. Good jump on that.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's a good time to jump on unless you got a storage device other than because we're going to come in video videos.
I could do it through TeamViewer.
There you go. Hi. What's you doing? Well, why have your computer sitting out there? What are you doing? You walk around a bit. Hi.
Pictures of yourself. Yeah, it's just beside them. You see Welcome, North Carolina, you're going, we're almost there. Then you jump 3-4 hours before you even get there. Because we go to the casino down in Maggie Valley, so down in the valley of the mountain.
Oh, really?
16 miles from Gatlinburg.
Okay.
And you got to do a lot of this to get all the way back down to this Indian reservation.
Oh, yeah.
Hares. And that's why we know how long it takes from about the state line across.
Right, yeah.
We come right back up 42, or 40 also.
Oops, did you just put on your Sorry about that. Somebody told me. You didn't tell me.
What's that?
So put one on your rug.
Oh, jeez. You got cats and dogs. They don't care, so I don't know why.
Get out.
Cats are all right. One of the cats just said all the
Cats puke all the time. They're always...
You look at it and you go, geez, that thing had legs on it, it would curl away,
Well, that's just part of having cats.
Yeah.
And dogs, it's the other end.
Yeah.
Sweet D will come up to us and just look on her face like, okay, that dog needs to go outside.
She's got long hair on her butt too, so she's, I've had to do some trimming before because it's just like, she's just a mess sometimes. She's so sweet, but she tries to give us warnings.
She hasn't been nearly as flatulent lately.
She likes to pick up like Brussels sprouts and bird drops.
Yeah.
It doesn't agree with
Dixie
her.
out there, onions. She loves onions. Boy.
They're the wild onions?
Huh?
The kind of wild onions?
No, they're the dahlias. She don't care. Just
wow.
give me an onion.
Those are strong.
Oh, yeah. And she'll be sitting there, and all of a sudden she'll let you know.
Someone's
Dixie.
eating onions.
And she looks around at you like, oh, yeah? Figure that out?
You need a little time.
Maybe it was my scolding that Sweet Needs that stopped her from doing it, because I was under the theory that she doesn't have to just let that go. She can hold it. She can hold it in. And so she'd like let me go, bad. Stop doing that. She hasn't done it in a while.
If people want to see you.
That dog will live 24 hours. She has to. She'll wait. She'll hold it.
That's good.
You seem like a real good dog. What kind of, is she a pit?
Part pit, part lab.
Okay. Look, it didn't think she was cool. She definitely looks like in the face.
Yeah. She's just the sweetest natured.
She was, you said generous or good natured?
Oh, yeah.
Really
Kids.
nice dog.
She loves kids. Now she does have her preferences.
Hi, baby.
I don't know whether that has something to do with her parent name or.
Maybe it's not getting to see them very often.
You always
so
have that.
they look different.
Yeah.
Different.
Oh, yeah. This dog's going to see in color.
Andrew's cooking, so we can't go see her right now. There's hot stuff over there.
Yeah.
Cooking
But she ain't never bit anybody.
So it'd be like bird dogs grew up black ones might be very
Yeah.
You are so good. You're so sweet.
That dog has a great
You want to see Greg?
Have some more.
I want to see you two big birds. Aren't you sweet? Let's come over here and hang out with Mark and I for a little bit.
I have some orange juice too, Callie.
How are you doing? People have been saying good things about you. People are talking. People are listening. What do you want to talk about?
Orange is much more calm now.
What do you want to talk about?
It's weird sometimes when I'm holding her, she'll go, I want to step up. And just
Yeah.
stepping her up over and over again, and she's just not happy. She wants to go secret.
Maybe you're looking at chops. It makes like sounds like people eating.
She hadn't heard that kind of thing.
What's that? What's that?
Cooking. There's Phoebe Bird. Phoebe and Greg.
We'll go see him a little bit later. Can I pet your head? Pet your little head. I'm going to pet your little head. Very good. So how are you? Good to see you.
Minnie is
Feathers, layers.
And aren't they amazing how they get smaller and smaller and smaller up as they go up their bed? Hold on. Step up. Good birdie, sweet.
What do you do?
You're being really sweet, bees.
Good job, baby.
You want to go see Ray?
You're seeing Mark. That's Mark.
You want to go see Ray?
We were wondering if it was going to confuse her since you have the same name as our friend Mark.
Oh, yeah.
She'd think that.
There's multiple people named Mark. Probably hundreds of thousands.
What's your favorite?
Favorite?
What's your favorite?
What's my favorite what?
To go see Ray.
Oh, you want to see Ray? Ray
Like
treating you
him.
pretty nice?
You're struggling.
I don't know what she's saying.
You talking
straight?
Crap.
You got craps.
Looks like my hand's going to get wet up.
To go see Ray.
You want to go see Ray?
You see Mark
He's
right
so
now.
sweet.
Yes, he's
Oh,
How nice is that?
I want to go see Ray.
Is he sweet?
I want to step up.
You want to
Oh,
step
no,
up?
step that.
Want to step up?
Want to step up?
Yeah. Step up to daddy.
Weren't you sweet stepping up for Mark? Ooh, did I scare you when I did that? Were you being cautious?
Good, Dee
Did you feel about what you expected her to weigh?
No, actually, I don't know what I expected. It wasn't what I expected.
Yeah.
I thought maybe she might weigh a little more, like a chicken or something. About the size of a small chicken.
Yara, what's you? She said BB's a cherry.
I'm sorry, Yard.
Yard bird.
That's what we call him.
You want to go see Ray?
Oh, we'll see him later.
You're seeing great.
You're seeing me right now. Aren't you ever happy with what you got? You always want something different, don't you? My hat freaking out a bit. How you doing? You did good step ups. You ready for Kelly again?
The feet. Yeah. You know, I didn't know what kind of sensation that would be.
Yeah.
She wrapped her little feet around me.
It's a little reptile.
Yeah, yeah. Well, she let me rub them, you know.
Yeah.
I wanted to see what the texture was.
It's different on the bottom than on top.
Is it?
Rougher on top, yeah. The bottom's a little
I had never really noticed that myself. Yeah.
Can you do some rock band?
Well, I can do rock band. That's okay.
What's your favorite song?
Rock band's fallen out of popularity.
We're gonna
that industry crap.
Rent a rock band kit, but none of the stores in Durham have.
Ooh, we were, but they don't even sell them. They say anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like that was like just one of those boom things, and then it just burned out. I think they oversaturated it. You know, it's just like they jumped on it so hard. They saw money in it, and it just got so oversaturated, and then.
They're getting their nickel out of it.
Oh yeah.
They never sell another one. They didn't. They're not losing money.
It'll probably have a resurgence at some point.
Well, then it'll be called retro.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think the problem is that you have people playing plastic instruments, and that can be fun for a while, but then they want to go on to playing kind of real instruments or something that's not just plastic.
Yeah.
But that doesn't fit in well with a party game because it's too hard to play a real instrument and play along with people. So
yeah.
They kind of found themselves with a novelty. And anytime something's novel, then it usually doesn't last long. Like hula hoops. You know.
Like a red hot one.
You go down and try to find a hula hoop.
One hit wonder.
Yep, exactly.
Yep.
Baby's a chair.
BB's an African gray parrot, remember? African gray parrot. That's what BB is.
Think she's a chair?
You thought you'd become a chair. I hope not. What else do you want to talk about? Oh, you did get some good cherries, didn't you? Do you remember eating those cherries? Those are good stuff. What else do you like to talk about? Oh, what's your name? 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 Not gonna tell me your name? That's no fun. What's your name?
Do some rock band.
We're not gonna do some rock band. Sorry. We can play some music. Do some rock.
Can I go see Ray?
You seem great.
Here's a cherry.
Here's a cherry. You're sweet.
Cherry in your breakfast. Cherry in your breakfast.
Can you do some rock band?
You want to do some singing? Don't you want to do some singing? That's not singing. It's not singing. I like your talking birds. Ba 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 ba. Remember that? Ba 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 ba.
Here's some singing.
Very animated.
What's your favorite?
What's my favorite song? My favorite song is The Mess Around. What's your favorite song?
Do some rock band.
Good
Can I
job,
go see
BB.
Ray?
What's your favorite song?
Baby, okay.
BB, okay. Okay, I'm glad you're okay.
Let's go see Ray. How do you do some rock band?
Well, I don't know how we're going to do some rock band because we don't have any rock band instruments. That's okay, though. We'll do rock band.
We're the old folks.
That whole rock band thing is played out, Reeves. I'm not really sure what the next thing will be, but you'll be ready for it, right?
Can you do some rock?
She said, great.
Kind of squirrely.
You want to go see Ray?
I'm going to have her, you take her because
Yeah, she's
acting
being
kinda
spoiled with
sweet.
me, too. He's spoiled.
Bird.
I'm sorry.
Woo.
that what you needed to fly a little bit?
So you say you had her wings clipped?
Yeah. We have about 10 flight feathers on each wing, and they trim about 5 of them. She gets wrapped up in a towel and
Is it still showing over there?
Yeah, there's a long delay.
Yeah, because it's kind of doing that, trying to connect thing.
Oh. It's probably not. Greg's over there. You were just looking at it. You excited about it?
She's brought a lot of joy to people, even through the internet. People will write it and say, almost like what she said, they're just flipping through and then they see this little bird talking and like, oh wow.
What's your name?
Baby the cherry.
Beady the cherry. I think you're Beady the bird.
I think she's juiced up. She's got a lot of energy in her system.
I'm not sure why she
We could maybe give her some later.
I'm not sure why she acted so crazy. She's like a lady.
She good or
She's a little nervous or excited. It's hard to tell. It's good excitement. I don't know what she was scared about.
Oh, it sure did. I think maybe when the cooking started.
Oh, she recognizes it.
Yeah. I haven't seen her stretch her wings out quite like that in a while.
Too many things in the kitchen beep, don't they? Here, that's how you can recognize cooking. We found erased refrigerator beeps and coffee maker beeps.
Microwave.
Microwave, we've got a and the dishwasher was going the other day, and she was, every time it switched cycles, she was like,
Spicy toast?
Yeah.
Kind of like people like my family.
Are you excited?
Let's go see Granny.
Sometimes their nails can get really, really sharp.
Yeah, when I was older, I couldn't even feel her nails.
Yeah, they're really trimmed. They trim them real short. Just to they'll take a few months before they get out real long. And then when they get long, they get like little needles. It's very painful. Yeah, it gets painful holding her.
I know you love noodles. Cherries. And full cherries.
We're talking now.
What's your favorite song? What's your favorite song?
That's not how that song is. All the birds on Jaybird Street. Let me
Song. What song?
Doesn't it work a lot better?
What's that song?
What?
What's your favorite
Pay
song?
dividends over
The
there.
bird? I can't even imagine what it'd be like without her.
Go see Granny.
She ought to let you, right?
Well, I hope she does in some ways, unless there's because she should live to be, she should. She really should.
What's your average weight?
Maybe 60.
Oh, yeah?
Would be like, that'd be high end, probably 40 is probably right a little more average, about 40. It just depends. They have a very linear kind of life expectancy. Like with humans, it's like low, very low mortality, and then once you get to 75, 80, 85, 90, then like suddenly you get this like really ramped up. It's like,
thanks for the warning.
Each year after say over 90, it's like
I could tell she's been eating cherries.
It's higher. With
Her
birds, it's a lot more.
well, not red, but
her chance of dying this year, more than that time,
same thing happens when
will
she
probably be the
drinks
same
grape
as
juice.
20 years.
She did have a little.
And in 15 years after that, there'll be a little slight up curve. I think a lot of it has to do with but they're fragile.
We've got a.
They're, you know, their words. They're, you know, if something happens to us, something hits us in the face, it's like, ow, that hurt. But to them, that can be fatal, you know.
Yeah.
So they're very fragile creatures in some ways, and so that impacts their overall life. They're susceptible to, you know, bacteria and parasites and things like that.
No, you don't have to worry about avian flu
I don't think so. No.
Avian
flu. I think that has to be, they just have to other birds, so exposure to other birds.
Oh, okay, that don't happen. So.
Yeah, it's just, we wouldn't like take a wild bird that we caught outside and have her eating in the same room.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well, she's ruffled now, isn't she?
Yeah, she's acting a little more normal now. She was really wound up about 5 minutes ago, so. Butt munch.
I like when you do that. Sometimes you get a little down on each other. Oh, man.
Fighting on the feather.
I like when you do that.
Yeah, I think that's funny too. I think she's kind of scratching her face and her butt at the same time. Like,
Grooming it.
Those beaks, you wouldn't think just because of the way they're designed that they'd be sensitive, but they are. If they just rubbing and touching, she really feels that. Where intuitively we think of it like rubbing our fingernail, where you wouldn't really feel it, but she really feels it. They have a lot of nerve endings in that beak. I guess I find that counterintuitive just from what we, you know, intuitively kind of know about biology. You think that she would feel anything.
Yeah. It's like it'd be like a hard piece of, well, like I said.
Yeah, like your fingernail or something. But now she can actually feel it.
You know, one of the parrots that we visited down in Texas, Einstein, had chipped her beak on something, and they found the little piece of it and showed it to us. And she wasn't quite sure how she'd done it because she was out of the room at the time. And she came back and was bleeding a little bit, and it took a while.
Did it grow back?
Yeah, they had to feed the bird, you know, from the side of its mouth because it was just so sensitive. And the piece that she showed us of the tip of the beak was so tiny that I expected it to be significant, enough for it to bleed and hurt, but it was really small. Like thinking like a toothpick.
It grew back just like a fingernail if you lost your toenail or something like that.
Yeah, it grew back.
Eventually grows back, huh?
Some vets even trim the beaks a little bit.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, we've had a vet that grinded her beak to make it look prettier, but like, because it'll start getting like worn up to a certain point, so she might even have one right now, like a little line.
She stood still for that?
She hates it. Our new vet just says it's not worth it.
Actually, she likes the beak. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. She likes the beak.
It's on the side. If they trim the tip of it, maybe there's something like that because it is real sensitive. Some people trim the tips of the beak because they don't want the bird when they bite them to hurt. You know, so they'll trim the sharpness off the beak.
That's what they do with chickens.
Yeah, that's just mean.
Snap their beak, their top beak.
So they can't hurt each other.
Yeah.
That's gotta be painful.
Yeah, I saw a thing about how they did that with chickens where they almost had like a little burn. It was like they melted it almost, so they stick the beak in there and it melted down to make it not so sharp and stuff. Yeah, we're all for like when we get these chickens. I'm willing to pay an extra $1 or $2 a pound if it means that the chickens can roam free and not be all like crammed into a little. And the quality of life with the stuff that I eat, I'm willing to pay a little bit more if they treat those animals well.
Yes.
Yeah, he was. Oh, did you?
Right. Well, up to 7. And no, 25.
Wow.
Kids, 6, 7, 8 kids that worked farm.
Right, exactly.
And I'd have to go up there every summer. My parents were much better. I was adopted. My parents were in their late 40s when they adopted me at 5. And I was the redhead freckle-faced ball of fire. Real ball of fire. And then people just don't, don't kill nobody, don't bring home no babies, don't steal nothing.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just don't bring nothing to us, And when I got to be about 12 years old, they were pretty much all done, Because they were in their 50s by then, and, the space and the legs, related to me. I'm 100 miles an hour, and they're going, whoo! floating.
Yeah.
So they sent me to the farm every summer, and I'd have to work. I had to work the chicken. You know, whenever the hogs had, whenever the sows had babies, you'd have to take a pair of pliers and snap their teeth out. Tear the teeth off the sow. What'd you say, baby? Oh, there's nothing sad about it. But then he also had to put rings in it. You know, you got a pair of pliers, got them 2 sharp barbs on it, jammed in it. I was then you snap fingers so you can't root.
Right.
And they did it anyway. They wouldn't root each other. Yeah. But they'll eat each other. They're cannibals.
Yeah.
You don't want to be the runt.
Oh, right.
I learned a lot of things on the farms. You know, you slide your hand in there to get them eggs off them chickens. And they don't want you to. That's why they snap their beaks.
Oh, right.
But otherwise, they puncture you, and they tear apart all your eggs.
Right. Yeah. Some of those things are just things that have to be done. I think most those kind of farms that they're doing it the right way are like, you know, some of the, I think now it's just. There's certain companies that are cramming them in like an industrial.
They live in a small rat cage.
Like that big.
You got 3 birds.
I like the idea of free range. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know why so many are going vegetarian fed hens though. I mean, it's like they're naturally they eat bugs and you know.
Well, yeah. That's part of
it's probably a market. It's probably a marketing thing.
I think it is because I think vegetarians might be more likely to buy it themselves.
Yes, yeah. That can be a little bit frustrating because you want the truth and you want buying what is good for you.
Yeah, and cage free doesn't mean free range. It just means that they're out in a room on this big floor, you know.
Yeah, we don't have 5 of them in the pen. We got 3.
Yeah.
In
a bigger pen,
yeah. 100 of them in a huge pen rather than one of them crammed in a little tiny pen by itself.
I like them when they can get outside and get some sunshine and eat some bugs. And
I mean, that's what I think is like the quality of life.
I've never been a good eater per se all my life. Fast food never bothered me. And I'm not one to stand in line wait for food or anything. Stand in line for anything. I don't care what it is. As long as I count it. If I can't see the front door, stick with me. I'll find my way. I'll find my way to get us up for parking. We ain't parking out here. Too worried about that driver. Them guys are flagging you this way. I drive right on by them.
I know where I'm going.
Yeah, I've been here before, pal. They can't see the car.
You ain't a dog. As long as you act like you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And a lot of people
that's half of it.
Yeah, it is.
That's half of it. Back in the day, we used to go to the clubs. There'd be people standing out there and they're like, "That ain't me. I am somebody."
Strut up there with confidence and walk right in. And
yeah, act like you belong here. Yeah, that was a lot of it.
Larry told me I'd go to the front.
Yeah. By that time, you're indoors. Yeah, smart.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had a good life growing up as a kid.
That's good.
Some people, had a miserable existence growing up as a kid, but I never missed nothing.
That's nice.
Just like Andrea and I had our sit down and had our little talk we finally got to have at one point or another, And she asked me, she goes, "Are you afraid to die?" And without missing a lick, no. And why not? Nobody lives forever. It's a natural progression. There's nothing out there that lives forever. So no, I'm not. I don't know what I've missed that I would want to do.
Right. That's a great attitude.
Well,
I think back, I don't know what my future holds for me, but I think about how grateful to be just when you think about kids, 8, 9, 10 years old that are so sick, and they never really got a chance to live. And so I'm not going to, whatever fate holds for me, I'm going to try the best I can to be graceful with that because, hey, I got a lot more than a lot of people.
Exactly.
And
it's just,
it breaks my heart to see people.
It's how you value things, I'm as simple as it gets. I've always lived my life that way. I've never wanted a whole lot of money. but that's not important to me.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
You know, if I can be happy every day of my life, I can wake up and tell her I love her and mean it. My life's good.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people out there who ain't got that.
Well, there's some rich people who are miserable.
Yeah, money don't make you happy.
I've been around people that are
It can
worth
help.
so much money. Yeah. Well, and they say that like that there's what it is diminishing returns is when you're poor and like on the street kind of poor, then it really is impacting your life and your quality of life suffers. But it's like statistically now they say once you get at about $60,000 a year for a single person, 75 for a couple. After that, more money just doesn't make that much difference because you got enough that you can satisfy those essential needs. Now it takes that much. Health care coverage and car insurance and you have a certain amount. But do you need to have 3 summer homes? Do you need to have a big yacht?
How many cars can you drive?
Yeah, and I've known people.
I'm shocked by people have more than one car.
I've been shocked by people. I've known people that are literally worth, $25 million. They're easily, that's like a conservative estimate of their net worth. And they'll be, I'll be talking to them about their systems or computers, and they'll go into it like, oh, I've just been working so hard. It's like there's just more and more to do it, and I was like, I don't want to hear your sad story about how hard you worked today or yesterday, because you have the choice to just step out of here today
and never look back.
So don't cry to me, because I'm the one I'm working hard too, but I'm doing it to put some food on the table. You're doing it because you just want more and more.
Because you want to cry and moan.
And I've known people with lots of money, and I really don't think it does necessarily equate to happiness because they haven't been happy. And it's almost like some of the times I think it's equated with they can never fill. It's like the reason they're doing that and the reason they want more and more money is there's something else missing. They can't solve it with money, but that's what our society, I think, is. That those people be conditioned to think. If I just got another house or another car and we made another $1 million this year, I'll be happy.
Their kids.
Oh yeah.
Because they don't grow up with that work ethic. Because it's always been given to them.
Right, and they're gonna probably get handed down hundreds, tens of millions of dollars and never have to work. I'm divided on just how much, and I believe in inheritance. I certainly believe in it. That you should always be able to hand down to your kids a better, a good lifestyle. But at some point, how much is too much, and where should there be? That's the responsibility of a parent.
Some of these kids that come out of college, they got degrees. They went to school, they got their 4-year degree. They degree ain't worth nothing.
It's not going to
in the real world, yeah. And then they think it ought to be given to them. Well, wait a minute. That job, that ought to be my job. Why can't I have that job? They want to start at the top.
Yeah. I think they're starting to wake up to that's not going to happen.
I surely hope so.
Wow.
Impressive.
I felt like I was cooking like Little House on the Prairie.
This is amazing.
I used to only cook with Paul Revere. My mom used to have silver and copper bowls. That's all I knew, but then he's the cook. He likes the non-stick.
Yeah, non-stick is handy, that's for sure.
Mimi don't like non-stick.
Yeah.
Right, doesn't care.
Is it the chemical that comes off?
Yeah, there's something in it that's real toxic. Like, I think it's not. It's not like really, really bad as long as you make sure that that there's plenty of food in it and it cooks properly. Where the real danger is if it's like a dry pan. And then it's heated up really hot, and then it sets that Teflon off in the fumes and turns into vapors. Those vapors, it doesn't take but a little, I don't know how many micrograms. It gets just
You're right.
Well, maybe not
it's
just.
really
Right,
dangerous.
but
But most of the time, there's people all the time that
just like a
put the
candle,
Teflon
I
around
had
their
no
herbs,
idea,
there's no
but
problem.
there were
But the
ones
people
that
that leave the
probably
pan on the stove and forget it's hot, and then, yeah.
They're just built different than us, too. They have air sacs, too, in addition to them.
They do?
They have air sacs, like, I think there's 3 sets. Above the ones, and there's 2 below. And it helps them fly, so that they have more air.
I usually
And their bones are hollow too. So they have bone marrow. They have air in their bones. That also helps them with that.
That'd be
That's
fun.
why you're so light.
Yeah, of course.
You getting excited
I like
about
cooking
noodles?
because I guess what we'll have for dinner.
Susie Ray.
Right, exactly.
I left some of the chicken.
Never get to go, well, what'd you make tonight?
This wasn't really what I wanted.
That's a surprise, eh?
This is great.
Andrea's surprise.
I appreciate it.
I didn't salt and pepper and season the heck out of the noodles, so.
Baby's chair.
Baby's a cherry.
You are what you eat, huh?
Is the
You ate lots of cherries.
iPad still streaming?
It should be.
Oh, that's an iPad mini. I didn't
Yeah.
notice that.
She won that.
Of course she did.
What was that?
The iPad mini.
Oh, yeah.
She won that.
You eat
Yeah,
some noodles?
We had computers, brand new computers she wanted. We still had them sitting in the box in there.
Susie Ray.
Wow.
Saying, well,
Let's see what you
it's
play
going to
with,
take a
man.
crap someday, so
Oh, you're so excited. You excited about cooking?
this looks good, huh?
But
Let's just hope that the IRS doesn't have any BB fans on here. I made a joke.
Oh.
Baby chair.
Because I know I haven't declared any single winning I've ever made.
oh, that's the thing too. You get a what do you get? 1099.
Yeah, 1099.
Oh, so you do get the
Oh,
1099.
yeah.
Sometimes it's over 1,000.
Yeah, over 1,000.
Over 1,000 we get it.
So those you definitely, those are the only ones you have to worry about.
I'll pay it. We were in the running this year for a car, top 12 finalists for a car.
Wow,
Yeah. She don't mess around with us.
that's neat.
Noodle.
We didn't win it, obviously.
Oh.
But we were in
I'll have a
there.
noodle. She.
I would have had to go to Green Bay to pick it up. Would have.
She was eating one that kind of rice noodle where
Wow, that would have been a bit of a drive.
Yeah, I made a brand new car. I had to see if that thing worked or not, you know.
Baby chair.
Right?
was able to.
Fly out there and drive it back.
Yeah,
What are you excited about? Huh?
that's what I was going to do. I won it. Son, it didn't have to be president. It was
What's going
a
on?
Green Bay Packer type thing. Don't ask me how she got in that kind of a contest. Everybody was from Wisconsin, except for me. Some guy from North Carolina's in our contest. What the?
Probably should be glad he didn't win. Might have some
Yeah, I know.
people
right?
like angry.
Yeah.
Excuse
He's not even from here.
Did you get any, Kelly? Well, yeah, you're taking care of the baby first.
He's getting the.
No, I also like Glenn Beck.
Glenn Beck.
The guy looks like him.
He's probably looking for work.
Cherry.
Chicken. You want some chicken?
It is good,
Go
honey.
on and stepping up.
Hey.
Huh?
Good stuff. Very excellent.
Thank you.
Chicken and noodles.
No, home cooked meal for ain't too bad every once in a while, is it?
Much better than this.
Good.
This was the right.
That's why I was thinking something different. You guys have been getting, stuff on the road.
If I eat some, are you going to eat some of these?
BB-8 out of a food truck Friday night.
Oh, yeah?
It was really good. What was that stuff we were eating?
Dumplings?
Dumplings.
Dumplings?
Like, not like chicken dumplings, like
Pineapple?
Chinese dumplings.
Chinese dumpling?
Yeah. Almost like ravioli or something.
That was good.
You want to talk?
Then go ahead and talk.
Susie Ray.
When we, the first person we took her to see on the road trip, she only said one word, she said, I want a berry. The whole time, that's all she said. And we were there probably, it was at least about as long as we have been here now, and that's all she said, that was one, yeah.
Where at?
In St. Louis, we,
Oh, really?
Elaine, and all she said was, I want a berry. I want a bunch of chair. She's not even happy with a single chair now. She wants multiple chairs.
I think she said want a berry, but she was asking a question.
Enough, I want a berry.
Okay.
I'm
Here,
sorry.
say I'm sorry.
Yep.
Baby's chair.
Andrew will go, oh, look, she's eating her
Rejected
food.
with extreme prejudice. Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's what will happen. She'll take some, throw that
Yeah,
in
talk
down.
about it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I get plenty of BB and I ain't even online.
She's laughing?
Or I'll be out here going, what'd she say? Are you listening? No, I ain't paying no attention.
You want some of that? Are you sure? Mm-hmm. Got potatoes, corn, noodles, chicken.
I think most of her dedicated
fans
fans are women.
Cherries.
So I have a gender bias.
You made a lot of cherries.
I know Andrew's made some good friends.
Noodles.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
That's the other aspect of it is that
Yeah.
there's like, it's not just about BB, there's a lot of really, really nice people that are on there and they genuinely care about everyone, you know.
Yep.
There's really good people.
I mean, you could have knocked my socks off with them flowers, dude. You know, that day I went to get my biopsy. You know. Oh.
Yeah, it's just amazing.
You gotta give me better guidelines than that next time.
Very, very
Good
sweet
girl.
people.
Yeah.
Then they've surprised us countless times.
Oh.
It's like,
And you have
Each time you gotta just go.
What?
and you have surprised us too.
Oh.
People are good.
yeah. 99.9% of people are. At
Thanks
least.
for not salty.
And I think of the people that aren't, it probably there's been bad things that have happened to them.
And they've been that way all their life.
She really likes my potatoes.
Yeah. It's like you said, you grew up and you were fortunate enough to have a good childhood.
Yep.
My mom was a school teacher, and she could see just like 6 years old, she gets 6-year-olds coming in, and she could tell right away that kid's not going to make it. And it's not because that kid's the parents, whatever, where they're growing up, their neighborhood. It's just what chance do they have.
That's ironic. My mom was a school teacher. Right? Yeah. 14 years old, I had my first vehicle. Of course, I had to park it down at the old man's house down at the end of the street. My old man would have. It wouldn't have been very good for me. But, like I said, I just got to do so many things that, and the opportunities that came my way. I was blessed. I had to be. So I did something right for all the good things that have happened. You know? That's why this little minor setback I'm going through means nothing. I mean, I'm looking at it 6 weeks. Hell, I spent more time in jail, man. So I figure I ought to be able to get right through this. I guess it's all how you look at things, you know.
You have a great attitude.
Yeah.
I think that's everything in life. If you got a bad attitude, you're going to have a miserable life.
Yeah, it is true.
I think you're miserable because you want it. Miserable is a choice. Whether you're looking for something else.
Wasn't that like Lady Eisenhower or
But
something?
yours is more about how other people, people can only make you as miserable as you let them.
That's
Lincoln had one about you're as happy or as miserable as you choose to be.
Yep. Yep.
I battled depression for most of my teen years and probably well into until I turned like 30, and then it felt like some switch flipped where I was just like, why live like this? It's miserable, and now I choose not to let negative thoughts stay in my head. It's like, well, that seems so simple.
And life seems so much easier.
Oh, yeah. Much better.
Because when you're trying to be miserable or when you're...
It's easy.
It's easy.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, you can find a lot of things make yourself miserable.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Just look at the news. Miserable story after miserable, and you have to really look to find the happy stories.
Yeah, you have to be very discerning, too, because news, I believe in the fifth estate, don't get me wrong, but news ain't like it used to be.
Oh, no.
Of course,
it's a lot
it took
of
a week for news to get around years ago, you know, where now you get your news like a dart.
It's so sensationalized, you know. They're going for eyeballs, and so
the plastic gasps and reads and clicks.
Yeah, the plastic one is like they'll have like at 7 o'clock. Something in your home could be killing you. News at 10. You know those kind of stories. You know, it's just,
or is something in your house?
I don't know if you had this on TV when you were growing up at night, but every Friday night or Saturday night, Friday and Saturday night at 10 o'clock on the TV. Do you know where your child is tonight? That was like a public service announcement.
Yeah.
Most of the parents were going, I don't want to know.
I don't want to know.
Why would you ask me something like
that? Yeah, trust me. You don't want to know. Hope for the best.
That's about the closest they've got to worrying about your kids.
Yeah, once a child gets, I think, about 12, 13 years old, you've done the best you can at that point because
they're making their own choices.
You're not going to be able to have much control after that.
They're making their own choices.
I can remember when I got to that point with my mom, and it's like she'd go, yell at me about something, and I'm just like, whatever, and then out the door I go, and it just wasn't constructive. Just at some point you're just too independent, and then it strains the relationship even more. So I didn't treat my mom real well through my teen years, especially my early teen years. It was just because I was flippant, and I didn't. And she was still trying to treat me like I was 8 years old.
Yeah.
And I'm like, now I've realized you're gonna do what? You're gonna ground me? I don't think so. I'm boss.
Okay, yeah. If I leave, what's gonna happen?
Yeah. Yeah, it works till about maybe 10 or 11. Depends on the child, of course. But once they're old enough to, walk out that door and know that they're confident they can go to a friend's house and just hang out at the park or whatever.
You know that by the time you're 12, 13 years old, you know the difference between right now. So the question's easy. As far as I'm concerned. I didn't know it.
You got
Yes,
you got mashed potatoes.
And you guys just do the best you can. At a certain point, you just gotta say, hope for the best.
Yep. Yeah, that's kind of the way it was with my daughter.
Thanks so much for feeding us.
She was 17. There wasn't anything I was going to tell her. There wasn't anything I could do after that. I mean, we had her sometimes she was 9 years old, counseling. She was just one of them wild childs. And there was no control. She was going to do what she wanted to do.
That's how I make them too.
That's terrible.
Usually at home when she's eating potatoes, she's getting sweet potatoes.
Wow.
I smash them up.
Mark, she likes mashed potatoes.
Oh, does she?
Oh, yeah.
She's got them all over the beach.
Potatoes.
Look at her beak.
Now she always said, potatoes. Potatoes. You mean those potatoes? All right, get the camera again. Potatoes.
Show your beak more.
Maybe had pie smash in her food.
Some of that.
She's like, I want some more. Good stuff in it. Eat all your noodles.
Somebody's got something all over their face. You made a mess yourself. Here we go. This will be a good shot. Look at it.
She's working them taters over.
And when everybody's eating, she wants to eat. I want some. She's not kidding. Be part of the thought.
Well, you ought to be glad that she doesn't have such a highly specialized diet that you gotta.
Yeah.
Some people are a lot more picky. I think with their burgers, only fruits and vegetables and nothing whatsoever. But that's not what we're eating most of the time.
Well, it's like Ben's dog out there. He hates it when if I'm eating a piece of toast or something like that, and I get down to the crust and I give her a little piece of crust. You think I shot his dog?
Wow.
I'm trying to kill her.
Yeah.
I pour it whatever I make, if there's gravy, juice, or whatever it is, I'll take a spoonful and pour it all over her dry dog food. I mean, she lives through the pan to the floor, and he's looking at me like, what? Cut it out.
That's what we're here for.
And the only reason we don't feed our dogs more table scraps is we just don't like the bacon.
Yeah.
He's a bagger, all right.
But if you can sneak it to them when they don't even know they got it, it's like suddenly it appears. After
Yeah, if it shows up.
Ben will come in, he's going, you gave her something. I go, how do you know? He goes, I smell her breath. Or she had a little chunk of gravy left on the side of her face or something where she was going through the pan.
Go see Ray.
Did you get some potatoes? Did you get some corn? Noodles?
Your face is a mess, baby.
She eats corn too.
Yep.
We have a video. We used to take a corn on the cob, like a half a cob, and put a chopstick through it and stick it on her cage, and she would eat, starting at the top all the way down, like including the cob. She wouldn't eat the cob, she would just shred it and throw it, but it would just look like the whole cob was slowly melting. We got a video of it and then sped it up of her just eating all the way down.
That old story, you eat corn through a picket fence.
Oh, I hadn't heard that before.
You never heard that old story? Usually it was about buck teeth people. They had buck teeth.
Oh, they're so big you could eat it through.
Yeah, their teeth are so big that she could eat corn through a picket fence.
She probably could with that beak.
Looks the same as buck teeth.
Yeah.
Soda pop.
But you don't drink.
No,
caffeinated drinks or anything like that.
no.
If she had a burp, she'd probably blow up, wouldn't she? I mean, carbonation probably really irritated her.
I don't think it'd be like really, really bad for her, but it's not healthy.
Yeah.
I would.
There's a debate about whether they get gas or not, and I swear sometimes when they go that I hear a little something. Yeah.
That's not necessarily gas. That just might be the sound of it.
Flying through the air.
The sound of it.
She makes burpy noises, but it's
she's
fake.
mimicking us.
Noise.
Yeah. She can do a fake sneeze too, and then she has her genuine sneeze, and you can tell the difference. The big one sounds like a human sneeze.
Cherry?
How you doing, Bees?
She probably ain't much to get snuck up from behind either, is she?
In her mood, depending on her mood, she really hates it. She really freaks her out. But like right now, probably not so much. She's really feeling safe right now.
She doesn't like her tail touched.
Yeah, even Kelly can't touch
Even
her
my
tail.
favorite person.
And actually, you're not supposed to rub them anywhere, like from the lower half down. You're not supposed to touch them because it stimulates their sexual desires and stuff, and then things can get weird.
I don't want her jumping on your back.
They form an egg, and then there's no other male bird to fertilize it, so she'll have an unfertilized egg. It's not that that's necessarily bad, because it's kind of natural, but they can become egg-bound. And the egg gets in there, and she has to have surgery and stuff, so we don't want to encourage her to produce eggs, because it's like 1 out of 100, like, a dog gives birth, like 1 out of 100 times, there's complications, and you have to deal with it. Eggs coming out of birds the same way, they can get egg-bound.
They make eggs without...
Yeah, they make the eggs anyway if they're sexually excited. And then, usually that's only going to happen if there's another male bird there that's encouraging them. But she's already been, she got her x-ray for her epilepsy. They saw a little egg and they she was made.
Really?
And they said, oh yeah, she's for sure a female because we can see there's the egg right there that she's made. And it was just so small and it was not fully formed, so they said something to worry about. Children was dissolved in her body. It's never made it to full size.
But breeder is never been about, right?
No, we probably wouldn't because of the epilepsy. We don't know though that there's any indication that she would be.
She did a study with Alex.
That it's genetic, so we don't know.
That was the same trip.
But I think kind of the thought is by the time she would be like 20 or 30 years old, probably could clone her.
It might have just been a vacation.
Because they're already cloning. Goats and sheep so we're just gonna wait and see. I don't know. I don't think. I know though if we bred her, there'd be a lot of people that won't want her.
For work, like a computer thing. Yeah. And at last minute, we were thumbing through one of the local papers, and it said Erin Pepperberg at Duke University tonight.
They don't drink milk.
Only, we're gonna have to not go to the computer.
So the egg is like a lot of nutrients are in the egg. So when the little bird comes out, they've already got enough nutrients inside the egg to sustain them for a day or two. And then she would take her food and shove it into the mouths of her
like the eagles.
Yeah, it's just the same way.
Them eagles. Did you ever watch him Decor Eagles?
Oh yeah.
That's how she got started.
Did you see the picture?
I think a lot of people met BB was because those owl cams and eagle cams real popular.
Oh yeah.
They're a lot more popular than her. I mean, sometimes they'll have like 5,000 people watching those at the same time.
Then they kept track of them, and found out out the 3 babies and none of them made it, you know.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you hate to see, because they follow.
Right, yeah.
Band them, try and follow them.
Yeah, I mean the survival rate for live birds out in the wild, it's got to be less than 50%. I think it's just
everything they got killed with is man-made.
That's a shame.
Well, wasn't one of them a transformer, honey?
What?
One of the Decor Eagles was a transformer, and the other one was a high voltage line, and the other one got smacked by a truck.
No, one of them was, I think they were both power lines, because I remember asking my dad, I was like, if they're putting transmitters on these birds, does that mean that if they hook up with an electrical pole, that we're actually causing it to happen to them?
No.
Dad said no, it's
That's
that
low
they're not
voltage.
grounded or something like that. And that there's like a bird society trying to get more grounded or fixed so that doesn't happen, but it all takes time and money. And it was so sad because the D1 traveled so far north. I mean, they had a map of just tracking, you could watch how far he went and everything, having the time of his life. This is what I thought, you know.
How'd you like to be the poor guy that got the short straw that had to go band their dogs?
Really not that bad when they're babies, I don't think.
Yeah, well, climbing up into that big nest, that might not be too bad, but
that tree.
getting dive bombed by mom and dad.
Yeah, mom and dad.
Yeah.
Freaking
I wouldn't want that job. I would say that'd be a short stick.
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
You know, if that big tree, mess with
She was giving us
nest.
about limited science.
Oh, sure.
You're not going to mess with beehives.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd also be just nervous.
We were more focused on the bird.
Something would happen.
Right,
I'd be
right.
responsible.
Did she go there at
Oh, I
all?
broke his leg putting it
Talk
on.
about it a little?
That's a federal crime.
Oh, about
What?
her bird.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it was before Alice had died.
Bee's a chair.
No, actually,
Cherry.
I saw over there in Durham that they,
after Alice had died.
when we went to get a 6-pack of beer, that they had special tops on them. That aren't those normal plastic things where you pull it out and you got the hole.
Oh, yeah.
And the reason is because of birds and stuff that they get their, those end up in the landfills or end up on the highways. And then the birds see it and they get their neck caught in it and then it kills them. And so that's like a, it probably costs more for them to package the beer that way. It's not the typical thing, but they're trying to be, environmentally responsible by producing a product that at least is less likely to be, toxic. So I appreciate those kinds of things, I don't like it when the government has to do those things, so I'll support the companies really taking those steps. Just like the free-range chickens, If I could see here's a chicken for $1.89 a pound from, like Tyson, not that I have anything with them, I'm throwing their name out there, and here's one that's a free-range, chickens that's grown by a local farmer, and it's an extra buck. I'll pay it, because I want to support the little guy and the people that are doing the right thing and trying,
You talk about them.
Yeah.
6-pack rings, plastic rings.
I said to Alex,
When I lived in Florida, I had a little
now, but it was
26
a
foot
lot of houses.
deck
That was
boat.
cool.
You
That
know,
was
do some
really
fishing,
cool.
playing on it.
I get
Go
little
out and golf. I lived just, 3 blocks from golf, so it was, we had our own marina, so it was pretty
I
nice.
assume that's the same one we probably watched tonight.
Yeah, it's just like
Yeah.
the ducks. The ducks
It
have
was
the
the
thing
same
wrapped
one.
around one wing
Yeah,
and around their neck.
I know you guys were
or
watching
you
that,
get
and
a
I had
seagull,
just watched it not
gets
too
caught
long
around.
ago, and I was like,
And you got to take them off, or one of the manatees
I
that
could
get,
see you.
that's where you interact.
Right.
Some of that
A
stuff.
pelican, if you're fishing,
It's a good show.
you hook a pelican, because they're bait stealers. And the state law is
That
you
was
have
so cute when they
bring that
catch
pelican in and get that hook. You can't leave the hook in. You can't just catch the line.
I was
Right.
worried because I was like, I don't know how.
Did you ever try to shoot it?
And that
First
one
of
I
all, it
caught
was.
a couple months ago was Phoebe
Right,
Tracy
yeah.
when you were fishing. I think his
Big,
bucket's ready. Brady's
big jaws.
was right there. And
Yeah.
they
And I remember the
tried to
first time
wait
it
for each other.
happened.
Yeah, they can be really sweet sometimes.
That's about the
But
first time I
like
went fishing.
goodbye,
A friend of mine,
before we left
he's
on
a
the road
big
trip,
fisherman
people
and
grabbed
everything.
onto each
He's
other.
telling me, oh, he says,
Tug of war.
got hooked in the
It
wing.
was a little scary
I
because
jerked-
I'm always
I
afraid
jerked,
of
he
one,
got
like,
the bait,
squeezing
but I jerked the hook back trying to get it away
Oh,
from him.
really? Yeah.
And it hooked him
I
in
don't know
the
if they
wing.
could,
You know,
they probably wouldn't
going,
want
well,
to.
what now?
because
You know, I
they
just cut my line. He goes, no, you can't do
Right.
that. So
I just don't
you
know
gotta
if they've hurt each other. We usually
you
think
gotta
more about the
bring
eyes
him into
than
the boat.
protect each other.
Yeah.
You know, and I've never
You don't, so you
snatched
don't
up a
let it
seagull.
get
Oh, they're huge.
Yeah, make her look like
They got them jaws are flapping and their wings are flapping. You go, my God, they're the size of a brontosaurus.
But you got it out.
You know what the secret is? They don't tell you that. They say reach out there and grab it by its throat and then grab the beak. And put it underneath and get hold of the beak and work on getting the hook out. Once you get them under your arm, they pretty much settle down.
Yeah, they realize they're
yeah, they're not going anywhere. And they're pretty tired by the time. You know, they're, yeah. And he told me, yeah, I got this fish, or I got this seagull on the end of my hook, and Frank's going, yeah, you got to reach out there and grab him by the throat. Well, man, how do I get around that? Throw a towel over their head.
Oh, yeah, like we do.
Yeah, throw a towel over their head, and they just sit there. Because they can't see, they don't know.
They think that they're in the dark or something, they just sit there.
Weird.
It's nice knowing little tricks like that.
Oh, yeah. And you always got a towel, you know.
Yeah, she's like that too. That's why they towel and throw the towel over, and then she'll just hunker down.
That's the way Callie is, the cat, little cat. We used to have to throw a bath towel or a sheet or a blanket or whatever it was, and then she just lay still. You could.
Yeah.
You didn't try picking her up without that.
No.
That was Scar City. She just ripped. I mean, every leg gone. She would.
Yeah, cats can do some of the worst
damage.
Oh yeah.
I worked at a vet when I was in high school, and I had a fear of cats at the time. I never had owned a cat. They have this big pole with a loop on the end, and I was handling the cats that way, getting them out. It's just so mean now when I look back, but I was afraid of getting scratched.
You want some more, Greg?
Oh, I'm full. That was great, though. That was awesome. That was just the right amount.
You want some more?
No,
That's great. I could use maybe another soda, though.
Absolutely. Save for Bebe.
I think she's done with the picking right. Ooh, didn't eat much of the chicken. Maybe a little bit of
I really appreciate that. That's great cooking.
Wasn't it good cooking?
I see Andrea. We need to get some footage of
right.
her stepped up for Andrea. Do you step up for Andrea? Now you got a full belly.
It's fun to step up for people, isn't it? Your new friends that already knew who you were.
You get feathers on your head.
No, it's always amazing to me is that Bebe has just no idea. There's all these people that have just like watched her and seen her, and I mean, and there's all the everyday fans that see her, but then just there's the casual that maybe just happen to see her YouTube video. She's got like 1.4 million views on her YouTube videos, and almost 2 million views in her Ustream. And she's like. You know, I do think there'll be an opportunity at some point. I saw that we saw that little disco guy on the USA Today show or something like that. I don't see why Bebe couldn't do something like that. Yeah. You know, it's just a matter of the right approach and talking to people. You did know Ellen DeGeneres called back when she was like 3 years old. They called because she was doing her 20 languages. Yeah. Her hello in 20 languages, and Eric got the call from Ellen DeGeneres, but we just didn't think she was really ready yet. You know,
might not have said anything.
She's so far. She's gone so far since then.
Right.
And it wasn't just her not saying anything, but just the thought of flying her out there. And,
that would have been on Ellen.
Oh yeah. That's the nice thing about that is if let them pay for the flight. You know, if you do a USA Today thing, something like that.
Well, I guess I'll eat a little more. I'm supposed to keep my weight up.
Doing good?
Actually, I switched sides to it. There we go.
Girl. You're so pretty.
What's your other thing right there?
You're so pretty.
What's your step up?
Cozy Ray.
Hey, what's your name? Are you a cherry? You like cherry?
I'm Simba.
You are Simba. You're so pretty.
I want berry.
You want berry? You like berries, don't you?
I want Cozy Ray.
You want Cozy Ray? You like go outside?
Babies and cherry.
Babies are cherry. You hate cherry.
I'm not sure Bebe knows who she is now.
Really? So
Sure,
pretty.
it's so confusing.
Being so smart.
was great.
Hi there.
I want to step up.
What?
You're the fingers, Brandon.
You're so pretty.
I want to go see Ray.
And what's your day? Go outside. Is it cherry?
Is she heavier than you think?
Yeah.
You want to go see Ray?
And what's your day? See outside. He's so pretty.
You like me when the people don't you?
I want to go see Ray.
March is becoming socialized.
Hi, Mary.
You want cherry?
I just wonder what it'll be like, you know, the more this happens, her vocabulary will start opening up even more.
I want to go see Ray.
Tomato?
Likes the attention.
Grape?
You don't know what
Like strawberry?
I want a berry.
Like berry?
She said it was, I want a berry.
Strawberry?
Can someone do a screen grab?
Let's say
You want to go see Ray.
the Nutriberry? The
You want to
Nutriberry?
step up?
You're doing good, Pete.
Yeah.
Lots of talkers.
Mars stepped up.
Nutriberry?
You want to go
Strawberry?
see Ray.
I'm right here.
Cherry?
I
Mmm.
want to step up.
Good stuff.
You tell her
Good
your name?
stuff.
What's your name?
She has to recognize
What's your name?
individuals, right?
Oh, yeah.
What's your name?
She definitely knows different people.
I'm sure she
What's
knows.
your name?
Baby's a cherry.
Phoebe's a cherry. Phoebe's a bird. B-I-R-D.
Oh,
Bird.
so smart. It's a bird.
Phoebe's a bird. B-I-R-D.
Hi, Mary.
What kind of berry? What's your favorite berry?
LaFaber? What's LaFaber make?
What's your favorite berry?
Phoebe, what's your favorite berry? LaFaber? What's your favorite berry? You gotta plug your sponsor there, Beebs.
What's your favorite
I want to go
berry?
see Ray.
What's your Ray? What's a duck say?
Can you do the duck?
What's a duck say?
She's got her own agenda here.
What's a duck say?
Come on, Beebs.
Go see Ray.
You go see Ray?
Wow, if a duck said that, that was pretty wild.
Baby wants to step up.
Phoebe's pretty. She's so pretty. She's so smart.
I want Mary.
You like berries?
What kind of berry?
So smart. So pretty. So pretty. Say hello, my baby.
I want to step up.
Hello, my
That has a
baby.
nice picture.
Rockin' Robin. Rockin'
I'm
Robin.
Mary.
Berry? Nutriberry. You like
I go see Ray.
You want to see Ray? Go outside?
I have thought she's gonna be talking about Rafe for days and days to come.
You got a rape crush.
Yeah. He came to our house before.
Oh,
and
has
she's,
he?
yeah.
He used to work with me. He was, I was his supervisor
I go see Ray.
Oh, really?
at a company down in Southern Illinois.
Baby, what's a
He's a
chicken?
programmer. And, yeah, he was a great
What's
worker.
Stella
Very,
say?
very, very good.
Cherry.
Company didn't treat
What's
him well at
Stella
all.
say?
That's why he's in North Carolina.
That's
What's
his
Stella
organization. He works at a
say?
really nice company
She
now.
looked at me like, you know Stella?
Triangle out there, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, I wonder if that blows her mind.
About
You're
what?
doing so
Research
good.
Triangle out
What
here.
is
Yeah,
that?
that's where he's
Oh,
part
good.
of.
How are you doing?
Yeah, he's at that.
Good. How
I
are
want to see
you?
Ray.
Yeah.
What's the name of his company?
How you doing?
McKinney.
McKinney?
Yep.
How are you
They're like
doing?
an advertising company. So they do a lot with the internet now, and they actually do TV commercials.
So
and
smart.
I want to go see Ray.
You don't have much of a play as an advertising
So
company now. You
pretty.
can do internet, you
Baby,
know, the
pretty.
internet side of it.
I want Mary.
People
You
want the
like
whole thing.
berries?
Oh, yeah.
They're high end.
Like Nutriberry?
And I was going to see if they could help with some of
Ooh.
the post production for the
Ooh.
I'm
for
Mary.
BB's road
Ooh.
trip, and
Cherry?
it'd be like three
I want
times
step up.
You're doing good,
the whole
Beebs.
entire
Good
budget.
girl.
Be like that. Be
That's
like trying to have
a good girl.
DreamWorks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like
so pretty.
We can give you 15
you getting
minutes
tired?
and $75,000.
You are jumped up.
Yeah,
There you go.
It's so good.
That was a long time.
Nice job holding her. I know it's a little nerve-wracking if you haven't held a bird before.
Mark, can you take
Did
that?
really good.
That was so good.
He's so sweet. He does so good.
That was quite a while. She's talking too.
It's so great. Like I said, the first time she met people, her first little road trip, all we got was one little phrase out of it.
Yeah.
And now it's just each time
Yeah,
it's
a
just
little bit
more and more and more. You feel more comfortable.
How you doing? She said.
How you doing? How you doing? She used to say that to me every day when I'd come home from work. When I was like working full time, I'd come home and she'd go, "How you doing?"
Watching too much Wendy Williams.
What's that? Yeah. That one fell.
How you doing?
How you doing?
I think she kind of echoes back what we say to her, because Misha, when I walk by, she's like, "Hey, beeps." In my voice, I recognize it.
Yeah, that's why they call them parrots. Because there is about half the stuff she just says just because I think she just likes the way it sounds. I think even the Obama thing, I think she just likes the way that sounded.
Yeah.
The way it rolled together.
Obama. Yeah, she just liked it. Sounded cool. Right?
Yeah.
She just liked how it sounded. Rock band. Yeah, rock band. There's just certain words that she just, it's almost like the first time she hears them, she's like, I like that.
It's like chrome reverse wheels when you want to put them on your car. That was cool.
She might have said Teresa when we were in the mall with Teresa. We're just not still sure. We'll have to look at the footage.
Get that kind of air. It starts taking away your breath. That real humid, heavy stuff.
Yeah.
Tastes like somebody else already used it. Yeah, it's the worst air. We had so much rain. Well, you know how much rain we've had. You spent.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, humidity definitely is hard. Yesterday was brutally hot, I thought. I mean, pretty hot. I shouldn't say brutal.
Yeah, I heard you at 10 o'clock in the morning going, wow, it's kind of warm out here.
Yeah, we were watching this morning.
That's like 85. It's just really humid.
It takes a while for your body to get acclimated, too. You know, it seemed like it was just a month ago, it was like 40 degrees. So
well, exactly.
Yeah, hell, a month ago, you were probably still thinking it might snow one more time.
We
lived in Indiana. We
had like 3 or 4 days in a row where in the morning it was like 40 degrees, and then by like middle of the afternoon it was like 75, and then it go right back down to 40 the next night. It was like wide consistent. And they think that's what's messing up the bee populations.
The what population?
The bee population?
Yeah.
I heard that like half of them, like they've lost. Because they just can't adapt fast enough to this temperature change.
We got the big old fat bumblebees. They're huge.
Those things freak me out a little bit.
Time to freeze.
Don't eat this year. My lavender plants.
Don't eat the
Oh, yeah? I can't grow fruit flowers.
Lavender's pretty hardy. It was planted there when we moved in.
Oh, it's one of them keep growing every year by itself.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Oh, boy. That'd be too easy. I've tried planting wildflowers out here, planting little trees that we got, free from Audubon Society. They send you 10 trees. We tried planting them. What the deer didn't eat, the rabbits did.
Yeah, I have a groundhog.
We got
You have to build a fortress around your garden. It's no fun.
You only go about 30 feet out our backyard. You're back in that woods back here. And it's not unusual to come walking through the kitchen, look out the window, and see 4 or 5 deer standing back there. They ate all my God. I didn't know they liked sweet or bell peppers. Oh, they love them things.
Wow. I think they'll eat just about
They probably hot peppers in it.
From what I understand, they'll eat anything that's hanging off the branch. They just go after it. Andrew tried to tell me it was rabbits, and I said, if a rabbit's eating off the top of a tree and it's that high, you better put some more buckshot in your gun, because that's a big rabbit. You better start using deer slugs.
Yeah.
But we got a menagerie of animals out here.
That's nice. That's awesome.
Red fox, gray fox.
Oh, Mark got chased by a fox last week.
Red fox, I was walking Dixie, and Ben walks her all the way up to that stop sign where y'all turn to come back in here. He walks it up there and back every night. And when he was gone, he says, well, you know, I'll take care of your dog, don't worry about it. While I was walking her up there, and I seen a fox run across the road. She didn't see it. She went after it. She chases in, can't catch nothing. She goes after everything. And this little fox went across the road, then it ran up the side of a wood fence, and then it walked over between two storage sheds, and it just sat there and stared at it. Stared at it. And I was staring back. Of course, I don't have a rock. I don't have, you know.
Not a stick.
Because I didn't want the dog and that fox getting into it. Foxes generally take off. But this thing took off and came after us. Yeah, I'm going, come on, Dix, let's go. And I'm trying to high step it. Well, I can't suck a whole lot of air before I'm going. It's the old story. You don't have to worry about a bear. You know, I don't have to worry about running that bear. I just got to outrun you. The dog was looking at me like, you're losing. And it chased us.
That would wonder about one that doesn't retreat.
Yeah,
rabies or something.
They don't chase you. They would never chase a human unless something wrong with you.
Yeah, either it's just wacky, crazy, or it might actually have rabies or something.
Yeah, I don't care to find out which one, you know.
Hey, because you probably end up having to take the shots anyway if it bit you and you couldn't catch it.
Yeah, usually.
So
now I walk with, I got a BB gun pistol. You know, it ain't gonna kill it, but it'll make it think twice about running after me. And like I say, I was helpless. No, I didn't have a big stick, crack it in the head, you know, or I didn't want to fight it. I was more worried about the dog than I was myself, you know. And Dixie never picked up on it. Never saw her. Because if she had, she'd have chased her.
Did you have her on a leash?
No.
Yeah.
It's a country. You don't
well, I was just wondering.
in a country.
Yeah. I was thinking at least if she's on a leash, she'd be able to.
Well, you'd be able to turn her back.
Maybe.
Now, we carry the leash, but she puts her collar on.
that's how we did with our golden retriever.
We never first hooked her up.
Our first golden retriever.
Never hooked her up once.
What's the one you have, Lil Ren?
Oh, I have to put him on the leash. Yeah, he just ran out the street. You have to leash him just because he's not small enough. You see a squirrel across the street, he'd dart in front of the car.
If she could climb a tree, she'd be so happy. Because there's, like I say, at any one time, there's 15 squirrels out there. Dixie can just let me get close to one. You know, she's halfway up that tree going at it. She knows you can't get her, but she's still chasing. I don't know
Do you
what's
like
wrong.
the business cards? They turn out okay, right?
Oh yeah, I'm very happy with them.
I think she thinks she's going to find that old one.
Yeah.
Run real fast.
Could happen. They can lose their footing while you climb up the tree and fall.
Toenails are gone.
Yeah, I'm very happy.
I've seen one fall from just going across
They were
the
cheap.
pole.
Vistaprint, yeah. Yeah,
Between two
like
poles and
$50 or something for like
Right in the
500.
I know,
Something
it's
like
like
a penny a piece.
That's why it's surprising.
Yeah. I know why they're able to do it so cheap is it was like a gauntlet of upsell on the way out. Would you like to try a website? Would you like to try to get a Visa merchant account? Would you like to have an advertising package from Google? Would you like to? And so I was just like, no, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. I finally got through the end and got them, but that's probably they're probably pretty much doing these. I'm sure they make something on them, but they make their money on. We got these cheap business cards, and then when you go to check out, they know that people that buy business cards are probably starting a business, so it's like anything that you could possibly imagine you would want for a business. Oh yeah. Mugs with your company logo on it. They had a whole ton of stuff.
Mouse pads.
Yeah, they had all that. But even like a merchant account. So they add, would you like to have, does your business need to take a Visa MasterCard? And there's probably a certain percentage of people that are like, yeah, we actually do need that. And that's a big upsell because if you can land a merchant account. I knew someone who was in that business, and there's money in it if you can close sales. Because if you get a business that's opening up and you sign them up as a merchant, and then you get a cut. Every time somebody swipes that card, it might be 0.5%, but
it could add up.
It starts adding up. Plus, usually there's a bird dog fee. Just in general, you're gonna get like $250, just like right out of the gate, and then get a cut on the sales.
A little spiff.
And Vistaprint, they're big enough that they probably get like the best deals, across the board on that kind of stuff. So they're probably they're probably tied in tight. It's not like what I would get. I get like pennies on the dollar, where they're gonna have lawyers and people that make sure they're like, really well off.
Yeah.
They got to get dollars on the penny. Pay them lawyers.
Honey, is that still on?
Huh?
Is that iPad still on?
Well, yes, it is.
Yeah.
I can't. That hasn't been plugged in for. Yeah.
Hey, Debbie.
Usually straight too.
You're so
Yep, it's still going. I don't see a battery indicator.
You're so pretty.
But like I said, it goes to those iPads. That's one real nice thing about Apple products is their battery life is
Got a lot better.
How you doing?
Excellent, yeah.
My phone, I rarely use my phone, but my iPhone.
Oh, and I'm there.
Wow. See, mine won't go but maybe one full day. And if I'm using it at all, even.
Well, I just did. I don't. Nobody call. The only person that ever calls me is her. Other than that, I don't. I got two phones. Don't have a need for either one of them. Honestly.
You're being so
It
pretty.
just gives her another way to hound me. But I like that.
You're so smart. You're so smart. This is just a couple hours now.
Yeah.
That's snacky.
I can't imagine all that.
That
You
is
just do it once a day,
amazing.
right? The cleanup just once a day.
She's so much more messy than Gracie. It's like opposite. Gracie, all day long, she would have like a fraction of that. Really, she just is not as messy a bird. She eats more. What she puts in her mouth. She doesn't throw it everywhere. She kind of has like all kinds of balls in the same place. But Phoebe is just like.
What is the deal with Gracie and the left side, right side now? So she doesn't. She'll come to you if you step her up on the left side.
And the left hand, yeah.
It seems to be kind of subsiding a little bit.
Well, with her sleepy cage, she really.
Yeah, Sarah posted today. Couldn't get her out again.
Some of it's the way
sitting in there like that. Isn't that sweet?
her perches are arranged in her sleepy cage in a way so that there's more hiding places on the right side, so she really only has
the
one perch that goes all the way
the
across.
big long one.
Yeah, and then on the left side there's one that goes out here, but it doesn't meet the other one, so she has to jump across. And the other side she's got a rope perch that loops across, and so she likes that rope perch so like she can swing upside down, and she just climbs in that corner more often.
She really likes to go across too to the PVC pole.
Yeah.
But yeah, she likes to do that. She did that quite a bit that first day. Good.
There's been a couple of times I've looked at that screen and I couldn't tell there was more crap hanging off of it.
Yeah.
What's holding that up there?
You're looking for red.
You're so pretty.
Yeah, they have lots.
She is really cleaning right in front of me there. She takes each little feather.
We already did one of these cleanups at Ray's
And you can
house.
see she gets something out of there.
In his kitchen. Maybe not quite that
like
messy.
Yeah.
She might need a shower.
Snacking on
When's the last time she had a shower?
She's getting a little white.
Oh, well, she got.
Oh, yeah. Yesterday she got quite a few showers because it was so hot. We were spritzing her up.
It wasn't a total dousing though. She wasn't getting.
Does she shower with you guys like some of the birds on?
She doesn't really like him. She likes the spray bottle.
Yeah.
That's probably something we should work on at some point. Just
We have a
get her
shower.
more used to it.
DJ from Hawaii.
Is that the atomizer that Andrea sent you? Or?
Oh yeah,
She likes
she
that,
called the
doesn't
Mr. Yeah, she really likes it.
Especially when you got them out
She's
on the back
leaving me
porch.
feathers, Callie.
That's a lot of fun taking them outside.
She's leaving me little
Does
feathers.
Gracie like it?
Yeah, she seems to, especially outside. She has to be, sometimes, they'll growl.
Both of them, sometimes I've seen lately, she'll go the opposite end of where you're spraying her, like, I don't want it.
Yeah, it's just,
okay.
Dirty bird.
Yeah. Well, and it helps cool them down. Like yesterday, we were primarily doing it because of the heat. There's one to keep them cool.
That's amazing how much I love those. I didn't bring the one that you sent on the
Yeah,
I brought a
big
small one. And something happened, I didn't want to break it.
Yeah.
The way we packed stuff in the cars.
That's crazy. It was barely all fit. It was like a jigsaw puzzle to get everything in that we wanted to bring.
Picture so you can remember where
Everything on your back, so you can make sure it happens like that again.
Yeah.
Because you know it'll never go back together.
She separates her feathers and just gets right down in there.
Down with the skin.
And then, boom, they all go back together. There's several layers.
Yeah, and even the feathers themselves can kind of separate, but they're individual little like hairs on each feather that go down the shaft.
Yeah, I've seen them like spread a little bit.
And they have little burrs on each of the little hairs, and they'll stick together, and that's how the a feather can look all worn out and falling apart, or it can look like it's all stuck together.
She grooves herself quite a bit.
She has almost nearly perfect feathers. She's
especially
like
after eating.
the opposite of Gracie that way with her.
Really, after eating?
Yeah.
I noticed she was cleaning it at Ray's too, and I thought she's relaxed enough to turn her head away from us for a little bit.
Yeah.
Missy's all is worried about her butt right now.
You know how we like to
pretty.
relax.
She did at first. She was very skittish little bird for her first couple of years, and she just over. And there still can be something that can scare her. I mean,
in other ways, they're a little more brave. Like you can do things to them that you can't. She's more in charge of her own body as she gets older. She's more likely to bite if you touch her tail or something. When they're a baby, you can pretty much touch them all over.
I'm sure
that's true too. Yeah, they're a lot more you can handle them a lot more when they're little, and then as they get older, they get more independent.
Quicker.
Yeah, and they always figure out how to, like, if you can figure out how to do something once or twice, then she'll figure out how to stop you from doing it that way. So you might be able to get away like Kelly with Talloner and how that's all evolved. You just think you found the perfect way to do it, and then she figures out the perfect way to try to stop it from happening.
Or other gray, if you throw a towel over, she flips over, so when you go to grab the back of her head, you're actually getting beat. And you don't know it because she doesn't always flip over. Sometimes she does it, and you kind of got to peek under the towel so you which is which. You can be grabbing the wrong end.
You probably get the same questions every time you stop and talk to people, don't you?
You probably get a variety, don't you?
Nice variety.
Like nobody's probably asked you how you cook your fish.
Yeah, that's good.
Broil it or run it or
bake it.
Yeah.
Bake it.
So it keeps more of the protein and the good stuff in there than it is if you fry it.
Yeah, when you fry it, you add extra fats to it, and it cooks out some good.
What's your favorite fish?
Right now,
don't tell me Mrs. Paul's.
No, we're doing we do salmon. Like
yeah, she loves salmon.
Some people don't like salmon.
Now, will she
really like it.
a little can of liquid cat food?
Never tried that.
You
I always figure
never
there's different grades of what they feed dogs.
He means like the tuna cat food.
Yeah. Well, if it was just like tuna that was human grade food.
What's that light, honey? What's that called?
Fancy.
Fancy feast.
We've never tried to. I don't know that it'd be bad for her, but I don't know if they have the controls in place to make sure. I don't know that there'd be any different than bird food, though. I mean, I'm always nervous that we'll get a recall or something that she's got, or that she's eating. But that's another just part of my philosophy of not feeding all of any one thing. If all she ate was the purine kibble, that's all she had, and then you find out that that's a bad batch or something's really wrong with it, it's going to be a lot more worse for her, just even toxicity-wise. And if she ate a little bit of that and a little bit of something else and a little bit of all these other things, the toxicity levels would be a lot lower than if that's all she was eating.
Oh, it's the old story, a little bit can't kill you.
Right, yeah. I mean, I guess that's what I'm thinking, is that
We brought like
a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of the other thing, rather than all of any one thing. Especially with human food, I wouldn't, you wouldn't want to just fill her up on any kind of one human food.
You get 2 different kinds of kibble.
Is that the kibble?
Yeah. This is what she normally eats. That's the cream, and then I brought Kat some of what Gracie eats because she likes variety.
I mean, her little tiny cat food.
You should smell it. It smells
Does
really
it
good.
smell good?
It smells like fruit.
It smells great.
Yeah, it does smell like fruit.
Kind of fruity
Yeah.
taste.
Oh, yeah.
It does not taste like fruit.
There ain't a whole lot I'd eat to a cat or a dog to eat,
They're kind of bland. They're not real.
There was one food that we got for her that was actually pretty good.
It was almost like a granola bar or something.
Now you got the
Didn't I
cat
send you
lady
that? I think I sent you guys something that you
Kibbles
that
bits.
you passed around.
You're the cat lady, right?
This is like
You're the cat lady.
brand.
Is it? Oh.
This is
Call
actually
in, you're
cereal.
the cat lady.
Yeah.
Every time I go in to go to bed, there's 2 cats laying there.
Yeah.
It's always in my spot.
People's cereal. Just about a little bit of that. And she's got her own shell.
She's so spoiled.
That's like
If she wasn't spoiled by us, she's also doubly spoiled by BB's fans. She'll never want for food, that's true. There'll always be somebody who
Like
will
blanched
feed that bird.
almonds.
Oh,
I call those the easy almonds because she doesn't have to crack into them.
Yeah. She eats sunflower seeds and stuff like that.
There's actually sunflower and pumpkin seeds in
Oh,
there.
yeah.
So they just have to be unsalted.
Hey, Beebs.
Their livers don't process salt.
Hey, Beebs.
She used to eat a lot of
It
sunflower
increases
seeds.
their blood pressure like it does ours. Salt.
She got a crack across her beak there? Or is that what you were telling me, the section that it's...
Yeah, it's just uneven from how she's...
They have layers to their beak, and they just wear away at different rates.
That's what some vets will go and smooth that down. It's for
They'll take
aesthetic
a Dremel.
reasons. For the Dremel.
She probably don't look in the mirror enough. No,
Yeah,
does she?
exactly.
No.
Start that plastic surgery stuff.
It kind of flakes away, you know, as it goes up, and that's why when they're chewing on the almonds in the shell, it's good for their beaks.
What would they do in nature?
Chew on almonds in the shell and whatever nuts they find.
Yeah, I mean, but their beak, they wouldn't be rubbing it off on a tree or something.
Yeah, they might. You see her to clean it, they might be doing it too to kind of scratch it.
Did you wipe her face and get them taters off of there?
No, they're probably on the perch somewhere.
And she does that little wipe. Like that.
Pumpkin seed.
Right.
You don't want a pumpkin seed?
She's all full of potatoes.
For when we were training her to do her tricks, she'd eat a lot of sunflower seeds in the shell. But she's doing all you want to see? You're just full, aren't you?
Yeah, how much more you want to cram in me? 6 cherries.
She's looking kind of big, actually.
She seems so happy.
Are you poopy?
Yeah, she really seems content.
Well, you think, you know, that would have won the VR contest.
Who's holding that?
I don't know if they just sent it out. I can't remember, but I was like, oh my god, I can find one. I wish I could find this video then of our visit. But you have to create that, right?
It'll
I
probably.
cannot just go out there and get this somewhere.
It'll probably.
Well, when you play your videos, when you're not on live, do you play like what you just recorded today?
Yeah.
Or are you saving that for...
It should be saving it, right?
Yeah, I set it to do whatever the most recently recorded stuff will play after hours. So what's up there right now is...
Is that like Big Brother After Dark? Your BB cussing?
It's like always...
Wearing fancy clothes?
It's preserved for posterity or whatever. It's there.
Yeah.
It'll always... It's the mobile broadcast, I think, even more so, right?
Yeah,
They save automatically to the server, and then we can go in there and rename them or delete them if we
All
want
of them
to.
save automatically, but the mobile ones are publicly saved. So I can go in and make them private, but by default they're public. Where the ones that are not mobile, for some reason, they're saved, but they're private.
Right. That's a great picture.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, that's got a nice camera in it. It's
A little mini iPad. Nothing fancy to it added.
You want it, didn't you?
Yeah.
You can't complain if you want it.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, it works for
Could be
6
a
weeks,
delay.
and what are you out?
Yeah.
Could be a few hours delay between what we are sending out here and what shows up on under the videos tab on history.
She's watching all day long, all of a sudden, she'll capture, copy. BB did this on such and such big file. I'm going to make another Shutterfly book.
Those are awesome.
They are.
Amazing. That was like the most amazing gift.
Yeah.
Really, it still just blows me
She
away.
made one of me.
Oh, wow.
That's my favorite thing.
My favorite thing. Just happened to be me.
Oh, that's so nice.
She
That was
she
the
won
Jack
the
Nicholson
country music.
That one on the left.
Country Music Award show. She won tickets, 2 tickets to go to that thing, the taping of it.
Great.
And she took her dad.
You took my dad.
Yeah.
So she makes a Shutterfly book out of that.
These are awesome.
They are. And, you know, and they're bound. I mean,
Fun to do.
Yeah, the kids.
Patchy likes pretzels. That's a pretzel stick.
Are you sure that's what that is?
Yeah.
You see that one go?
Oh, wow.
Doesn't look like no pretzel.
Yeah. Okay, stick with that story.
Yeah. That's your story and you're sticking with it. That was yeah, in the toilet paper bag. Callie, that's the calico.
Oh, yeah.
That's when she was a little baby. She was in the litter right behind him.
Yeah.
We brought her home.
We saved them both because they were going to get dumped. She let this cat have litter after litter, and then we couldn't get rid of them. She
That's
just take
awesome.
them and dump them in the. Then on the back,
For what they call.
Oh, my favorite thing.
Oh, Bibi made it on there too.
Yes, she did.
At least I got the front cover.
Yeah. You should have the front cover. That's right.
Well, I don't always happen around here.
Bibi ruffled her feathers at that one. He beat you out there.
That's the way it should be, Bibi.
Uh-oh.
I tell you what,
Big
had a lot of dogs through my lives and cats and all kinds of animals, but I never thought that an animal could just be so special.
Yeah.
You know, and I loved all my dogs. I still love all my dogs.
Right.
But they can't say when I leave, go, bye-bye,
Yeah.
I'll miss you, and
Hello.
every night going to bed, good night.
Hello.
Yeah.
And I want to go see Greg.
Yeah.
You know, it's just...
Yeah.
Once again, another sweepstake thing, you know. That was a little $2,500 trip for her.
They were doing the CMA festival or something right when we were looking out of town. In Nashville.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, they were setting up for it.
That's right. That's what was going on.
But her dad's, well, actually, I'm 15 years older than Andrea. I'm closer to her dad's age than I am her. I'm 62, he's 72, you know, and we first started hooking up, you know, I got to go stink eye like I was robbing a cradle. You know, she was already 35, 40 years old, you know. I think but yet, I was, you know, wait a minute, you old, you know, what are you up to? Kind of look I got. I think he kind of likes me now because I didn't hit and run, you know. Well, you know, some guys come around for a while.
We're streaming mine.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, like a car wreck.
Yeah.
Crash the party and leave.
You gonna take Dixie for a walk?
I'm thinking if I do it soon enough, I won't have to do it later.
Yeah, right.
The dog likes her walk.
You take that little BB gun.
I'll walk with you if you want to do a dog walk.
Sure.
You can say here with the birds.
Not a problem.
These are great. I did one Shutterfly book for camping shit. A Shutterfly
you did
book.
one?
Yeah.
It's pretty easy once you get the hang
Yeah, it
of
is. I really like their interface, and it saves like
Yeah.
unlimited amount of pictures.
Yeah.
That's awesome. We took a 23 miles hike through Kentucky, Land Between the Lakes. And it's a really nice hike. You know, where we carry everything, our tent. And
How far do you hike when you get miles and miles?
It was 23 miles total, I think, and it was about 5 days, I guess. So I mean, that doesn't sound like it was long. It might have been right, but it was kind of hilly, and you know we had 50-pound backpacks.
Right.
So we didn't want to go miles a day though. Now my memories fail. We took pictures of like when we got to the they put up signs at the beginning and end of the trail to tell you how many miles it is for the next
Oh,
day.
they did?
Yeah, we took pictures.
And you took the dogs, right? You said?
That trip I didn't take the dogs. I'm really glad I didn't because there was lots of ticks.
Yeah.
So the 2 other people brought their dogs. Actually, 3 other people brought their dogs and were taking ticks off them constantly. So I guess it's good we had the dogs because the ticks took off them. I think that's everything. So. That's probably one of the things that I check with is
so important. Life's too short to be uptight.
Eating on a bad day.
Awesome. Yeah. Just try to keep your attitude away from match those. Yeah, you'll probably bounce off each other a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's what you're there for, is the rock and the
biggest cheerleader.
There we go. Awesome.
Baby, you're so pretty.
Get some good screen grabs for you.
Oh, step up.
Gotta remember to get t-shirts. Remember that, honey. Get t-shirts. Greg will probably want to do some plans when he gets back. And we got about a
Yeah, I was thinking it's not at 6. I think she wanted to go back. It doesn't matter. She wants to get back.
Yeah, she doesn't like driving in the car. So we can do it for a little while. We can the whole drive.
Can they get motion sick like we do, or
you don't think they do? At least she doesn't, because probably because they're so used to swaying in the trees.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And they fly,
Yeah.
I think they operate differently. They probably don't have the reason we get motion sickness is that liquid that's in our inner ear.
They don't have that.
I really doubt it. Who knows? They're just, I'd love to learn more about their anatomy.
Yeah.
That was even when we were first meeting her. I was like, does she have a gizzard? We have even gravel like you would a chicken.
Right.
They go, well, she kind of has a gizzard, but it's integrated, so you don't have to.
I mean, does she have kidneys, lungs, spleen?
She does have kidneys.
Appendix, all the stuff that we do.
I would doubt appendix. I don't know why. I would picture their intestinal system being much different.
I wonder if their insulin charge,
Yeah.
not too much, well, they can have too much sugar.
Salt is a big one, that their livers are real sensitive, so the liver's what helps filter out salt. They just don't process it the same way we do. And of course, since they don't have a separate tract for the urinary tract with solid stools, it all comes out the same place. So I doubt their intestines are anything like ours. They just might have a straight shoot from our stomach spine. You guys just built so weird. Little holes on top of it. Those are called nares. I don't know why they don't call it nostrils. Basically.
Is she flushed out a little bit right now?
Slightly. So slightly.
You want me to picture of me? Susie, would you not speak? You sure? Never tell me to reply.
Sometimes she lifts her head down. And
yeah, that's cute. Like Gracie does this to completely the door. I thought for sure she came out for here. Just almost too hard.
Yeah, maybe once he does get her out of there, just keeping her in her day cage. And then she can come and go as she pleases and not be in that dark room. The room that she's in for nighttime, I have the windows all blocked off, so it's really dark in there. So when she's in there during the day, it's going to be pretty dark.
You miss Gracie? Remember Gracie? Is she a distant memory? Do you remember Stella? CC? What does Stella say? What does Stella say? I hear that, baby bird. Super sweet. Really dark news for me, cherries.
Oh, step up.